Flosstube, welcome back. It's Sian here, Periwinkle Stitcher. Today is Monday the 20th of October and this is Flosstube 18. I've called it a tale of two trips because I've just got back from Mrs. Parkman's Needlework Academy in Swindon, which was a fantastic weekend. I'm exhausted, but I'm away again on Sunday. I'm going to Ganny Bay for 2 weeks with Phil. Should I be going? No, I haven't got the time. I need to stay home and stitch, but that's how it is, you know. So what I thought I'd do today is try and summarise the two trips that I've taken since I did my last Flosstube. And so the only way I can get through it, because I'm surrounded with so much stuff, is to try and attempt it in chronological order. So I thought that's what I'll do. There's a load of photographs in at the end, and I've had to take notes because I've got so many things to talk about today, so I think it's going to be a long one. I apologise in advance. You better go and grab a cup of tea and maybe attempt it in separate sessions because I've just got so much to share with you today. So when I saw you last on Flosstube 17, the very next day I was flying out to Nashville because I was going to the workshop at Walton's Creek at Ben Ashby's place in Kentucky. So there's a direct flight from London into Nashville, which is quite a reasonable flight. I think it was 8.5 hours, something like that. And we went to the Hermitage Hotel where we stayed 6 years ago when we went on our Harley bike trip. And so I've got an amazing photograph of the Hermitage Hotel. It was just absolutely stunning. It used to be the old railway station, so it's got an incredible high ceiling, and it's just, the food was incredible. Well, we only had breakfast there. I don't think they do like food in the night, but the bar, it was amazing. The margaritas were fantastic, and the breakfast was probably the best breakfast you can get. It was just incredible downstairs in this sort of like leather boothed little restaurant. It was just incredible. Everything was done on an open wood fire and it was just amazing. So the hotel recommended then where we should go to down to the Gulch area to go to Lucchese, the Italian cowboy boot shop. So we went, we bought boots. I got the most fabulous lizard and goat skin cowboy boots. I put a picture in at the end of those. And we also went to Rustler Hat Company and got beaver felt hats made. It was just such a fun trip. So that's what we did on the Thursday. And then that evening we went downtown to, is it called Broadway? To the live music where all the bars and the streets, and it's a thing in Nashville that all of the singers have to sing for free, so you can just go from bar to bar. But we went to the one that all the locals say is the best, which was Robert's Western World. And we just had chicken in a basket there, the fried chicken, which was fantastic, and listened to some incredible live music. I think I put some videos in at the end of that, maybe I did. I'm not sure what I did on Instagram now and what I've put on the end of my Flosstube. Then the next morning we got up, picked our car up and drove over out of Tennessee, over through Owensboro to, which is like the home of the bluegrass music, Owensboro, and we stopped for an amazing barbecue lunch, which all the locals do, on our way down to Walton's Creek in Kentucky. So it was amazing. We were staying in an Airbnb in Beaver Dam, and weirdly the two apartments right next to us, because there's nothing there really, were taken by people at the event in Walton's Creek, and we've actually booked it already for next year because I've signed up again for Walton's Creek. It was just an amazing event. I really enjoyed it. Phil came and drove because I don't think I'd have been brave enough to drive on the roads there. So he drove me to Kentucky and he went off to the Corvette Museum and had a great time while I was actually at the workshop with Nikki and Jen from Earth Angel Studio and Christy Jones Ray and Terry and Ben Ashby. So it was so fun. And it was amazing. So it started on the Friday night. We all arrived in time for a Southern supper and sat round these long tables all decorated with amazing pumpkins. And I met my two friends straight from the off, Lisa Primson Greenway and of course Barry Hamby from Stitch Folk. And we just had the most wonderful evening. We really enjoyed each other's company. I met so many wonderful people, and we had just a great supper where everybody brought a dish. All the local people from the Baptist church there in Waltons Creek, that's what they do. They just bring a dish and it's a potluck thing. And, you know, for those of us that couldn't cook, we just made a donation for their charity, and it was just a lovely, lovely evening. And then we came back at the crack of dawn the next day. I've got stunning photos of the location. The mist was rising on the pond, this huge lake. And the weather was just perfect. I mean, really, I took all the wrong clothes. It was shorts and t-shirt. And it was so hot. It's hard to think that this was within the last month, because autumn is properly set in here in the UK. Although it's quite mild, you know, we have got the heating on now in the evening. So on Saturday, the workshops kicked off with Jen from Earth Angel Studio. This is her card, and she's she's like a jack of all trades. I think she's an expert, although she doesn't quilt herself, she's an expert in the history of quilts. And I've got a lovely photo of her showing some really old quilts. She collects them, and her mother is also a collector of quilts. And she's also she's the founder and owner of Earth Angel Studio since 1994, who collect all of these amazing Blythe dolls and vintage Father Christmas and bears, all sorts of collector's items. And she has got a number of events coming up. November the 8th and 9th, she's got the Wonderland of Play, the Very Merry edition, which is in Orange County, New York, if you're interested. And also in March next year, the 28th and 29th, the Spring Open House and annual Blythe Playdate at the Earth Angel Studio in New York is going to be taking place. So she plans these events way in advance. She's in London as well, because so many people go to them. So if you're interested and you're one of these Blythe doll collectors, I must admit it's something I have not let myself go down this rabbit hole, but I think I suspect a lot of Nikki's friends are into this, and I know that Barry, as I think she's got one of the type of dolls. I'm not too sure. I don't think it's a Blythe one. So that's Jen, who's kicked it off. Then we had Christy Jones Ray, who's very famous. She's got children's books in the States. She's a watercolour, and she gave us a lesson on, taught us how to do watercolours. We'd never done it before. We had a saucer with the paints on, and we started with a rough sketch. So I don't know, mine turned out square. We were trying to sketch these pumpkins on the table, and then we had another go on our proper paper, this gorgeous thick paper, and mine were slightly rounder, but it was just so much fun. So we had these pens. So let me show you the pens that we use, because I actually invested in some when we got home. So these Micron fine liner pens. So what you do is you pencil your outline, you watercolor in, and I've had this little watercolor porcelain mixer tray thing from Nikki Franklin years ago in one of my advent calendars. So I've always used this because, as you know, with Nikki we paint our linen sometimes, and I'll show you that in a minute. This is the little, just really basic watercolor. So it's Dela Rowney, and this is just a travel one because it's got the ring on the back. You can hold it, and these are the basic colors that I've got. So just a small number, and these are some of the samples over the years that I've painted my linen. And the latest one I used was Payne's Grey, which is this one here, just to grunge up a little bit the one we were given at Walton's Creek. I'll show you now. So it's so much fun painting linen. The secret is not to be afraid. You can either paint your linen for embroidery before you start. So for my postcards of England, the little beach houses one, we painted a really pale blue wash for the sea, and a pale dusty gold for the sand before we stitched over it. But more often than not, you stitch first, and then you can have a little tester in the corner and then paint round your stitches. That's more often than not the way we do it with Nikki's stitching. So those were just some of the things that, and so we're all in our watercolour painting era now, which is so funny because it's something we've never really done before. But it was so fun, and Christy was the sweetest person. You know, she makes those little mice. Please go and have a look at her website, Christy Jones Ray. She really is such a lovely lady. There's pictures at the end of her in her gorgeous dresses and hats. It was just so fun. So the stitch we were given at our tables when because the teachers would rotate round the long tables that we were all sitting on, and Nikki gave us this little kit, especially in our Walton's Creek bag. And I was sat next to Christy and Sarah, the Half Poem Creek Stitchers, who you'll know. They've got a fabulous Instagram account, and they do a lot of their own colour conversions. Their stitching is fantastic, and I followed them. So it was so nice to spend the day with them as well. And so these were the colours that we got. Gorgeous autumn colours, as Nikki always does, DMCs. So these were the golds that the pumpkins were done in on the end. And then this was the pumpkin patch, the little chart with all the instructions and the old slubby linen. Just amazing. So I've got a picture of Nikki's. She took hers pinned onto one of her dolly quilts, and I thought that I might finish mine into my meditation book as a special memory of my stitch at Walton's Creek. So that was that. When I came home, I was so obsessed with this that I kept going on it. It's tiny, so it was doable, and so I managed to finish this. Sorry, I got some fluff there. So I managed to finish my stitch. So we've got padded satin stitch for the 3 pumpkins, 2 in a pale gold and the main one in the dark gold in the middle there. And then the dahlias or chrysanthemums in are suggested with just piles and piles of lazy daisy stitches, sort of round in a circle and then bringing them in towards the centre until you can't cram anymore, and a few French knots there in the middle in gold just to finish them. And then sort of suggesting the wreath is just some green stitching, a few pinwheel roses, couple of French knots, so you know, just some bits to sort of finish it and give it depth. And then what we did was, Nikki said if you wanted to at the end you could grunge it up a little bit by painting, so that's where I diluted. And the key to this is less is more. So you're almost starting just with a dab of water, because what happens is it travels really fast across the linen, so you need to start way off your stitching, if that makes sense. And then when it dries, it almost disappears, but you can build it up. What you can't do is take it away. So just a tiny bit of Payne's Grey with a lot of water diluted in that little painting tray. And then you just get a hint of depth as if you're looking through a little wreath of a pumpkin patch. I absolutely love it. It's tiny, but it did take me a few days, and I thought I might put it in one of my treasured little books. And as you know, I'm trying to keep really special pieces for my meditation book. I haven't shared any of those with you actually, but another day I will do that. I'm starting. Last time, remember I shared with you my my velvet padded heart, thinking of you. So this might be another piece I can put into that. So that was my little finish. And then we had another class that afternoon by Terry, who was Ben Ashby's friend. She helps Ben organise the supper and the event, and his mum was so sweet. We met his mum. And so then we had a calligraphy class where she taught us like American calligraphy. So we learned a couple of our letters, and I invested in a pen when I got back. I can't do my R's, and I can't do what was the other letter I wasn't very good at? An S. An S and R in American are slightly different to how we would do them. I think I'd be better off at the British calligraphy. So my name was pretty rubbish. It's unfortunate I got an S and a load of R's, but I need to practice that. But we got the paper and it's a lot of fun, and I'd love to know how to write nicely on gift cards and things like that. So that was a lot of fun. It was an amazing event. Me and Barry immediately signed up for next year, and next year they're extending it. There's going to be a VIP class with Nikki, a smaller group, actually at Ben's house, which will be amazing. So we'll have the full workshop and a VIP day, and yeah, a new kit and a lot of fun in Kentucky. It was the most gorgeous state, the bits we saw. And then on the Sunday, we checked out a beaver dam. I put some pictures in a beaver dam. It's really old. It's I stood under a sign. It had 1700 and something. And we ate at quite a famous little beef place where a lot of the people that go into Beaver's Dam for concerts eat there. So we went there. I mean, it was literally just one high street. So our Airbnb was brilliantly located on that street. And then we went the next day on Sunday, we drove to Paducah, which is a really old place right on the water where the river pulls up, and it's been flooded many times. And they had the water level sticks, you know, on the side of the high street there. And it was incredible. And the reason we went there is because that is where the National Quilt Museum and their fabulous shop. Wait till you see the haul I got in there. So we ate in Doe's Eat Place, which was fabulous, out on the street in the sunshine. And then we went to the Quilt Museum, and so I'll share with you my haul. I did get a little bit of haul at Walton's Creek. There wasn't much there, and you had to be really quick because Nikki's husband, Drew, had one table of things. I didn't buy any of the Blythe dolls or anything. There were a lot of dolls and dolls items that you could buy. I didn't get that. I did buy this gorgeous little homemade wax necklace. I got one for me and Britta from my lovely friend Lisa Primson Greenway, because she had a basket of little wax necklaces that she was selling. Sorry for the glare, but I haven't opened that yet because I want to save the vintage pin on the top there. So I did treat myself to one of Lisa's gorgeous things. I love her things. And then off Drew's table, I managed to get a bundle of vintage linen, all different types of gorgeous old floppy French linen. They were in bundles there, tied together. And then also I tied in with this so I wouldn't forget. Now I've forgotten the lady's name, but I've bought things from her. She often makes up bundles for Nikki's shop. I'll have to tell you next time. Oh, she's such a lovely lady. She comes around in her gorgeous dresses, linen dresses with baskets of these finishing materials that she just ties plaits of threads in greys and golds, and she dyes silks and the raw silk that you can make the beautiful little beaded needle cases from, and some lace that she just grunges up in the most gorgeous I wish I could remember her name, but I'll look it up for next time because I bought things from her in the past, as you'll know. Yeah, so raw silk, she's very, very clever at that. And she often has packs at Nikki's in pinks. I just thought they were gorgeous. And I know Barry picked some of those up as well. So that was what I picked up there. And then I managed to get A Quiet Day in Autumn, this stunning exclusive kit, which I think will be available for pre-order at some stage or to buy on Nikki's website, which is Nikki Franklin at The Stitchery. And she's based in the UK in a village called Ecton in Northampton. And everything she does, I just love. And one of my postcards from England years ago had little houses poking out from autumnal trees like this. And I just love it. So that's another one for my basket. So that was my haul at Walton's Creek. And then, of course, I met so many stitchy friends and had so many fabulous gifts of stitchy kindness, and I want to share them with you because I think you'll be blown away by just how kind people are. So I want to share these with you. First of all, Lisa, Primson Greenway, you know how talented she is. I think she has these sometimes in her Etsy shop or online on Instagram. These gorgeous quilted giant strawberries for your autumn display with a little rolled wool top. Isn't it beautiful? She gifted me that. I absolutely love it. Thank you, Lisa. You're so talented. Please come back and do a Flosstube for us soon. She was such a delight. She got on so well with Phil, and with so many funny stories. Her husband's a big animal vet, and as you know, she's a medic. You know, she works so hard. She's so talented. But in her downtime, she crafts like this. Isn't that what keeps everybody in very stressful jobs sane? Love it. Thank you, Lisa. Then my lovely friend, Sharon Christ Silver, gave me this really cute Whip Queen pin from Puntini Puntini. I love it. And she made me one of her gorgeous scissor fobs and needle minders that she's made for me before. Absolutely love that. And of course my peach buds, because she lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and these are the gorgeous sweets that they have there, which she knows I love. So I will treasure that. Then of course there was the lovely Michelle from Under the Woolen Willow, who's got those gorgeous kits that Linny from the Sable Stitchers makes the pillows, you know, with the words on for the year and autumn and so on. She made these EPP little needle books for us with some DMC. That was so kind. She was handing those out. Then when I arrived at Walton's Creek, Ben said, you've got a little package. And my lovely friend Maureen Abramson, because she knows I get stung for customs sometimes, she sent a little gift package to me, because you know she started her Etsy shop and so many of you supported her, and she had she's a distributor for Riley Blake, so she sent me some more of the new gorgeous Riley Blake little zipper pulls. Aren't they beautiful? Thank you so much. This is for the Jane Austen Riley Blake collection, and Maureen's got them in her shop. Please go and have a look and continue to support her. She gave me this darling little card to say thank you. So thanks to all of you that bought something from Maureen. She's just such a lovely lady. So we must do what we can to support these small businesses. So thank you, Maureen. I'll be putting those to good use straight away. Then the first person I met and I had a terrible photograph. I ruined the photo with her, but I did put it in because Heidi looks amazing. She was staying in the same apartment as us in Beaver Dam. Heidi Aramura, she made this tin of hermit cookies which were like the most amazing ginger biscuits, which I ate as soon as I got home, but I kept the recipe to show you, and that was so kind to have something homemade, and they were delicious. Heidi, thank you so much for sharing those with me. Then a lovely lady, Abby Stone, who I've met before, sent me a fabulous homemade card and did this. I couldn't believe it. She was staying with her aunties, and she managed to find 2 of my old photographs. This is a very flattering one because I'm a lot younger, off Instagram. And the other one was of my mum and dad when they got married. And my dad was 89 a couple of weeks ago on the 3rd of October. And we had a little birthday party for him. We went out for supper. Sophie came home that weekend, my second daughter from London. And we made a birthday cake and a big fuss of him, you know. And so I wrapped that up for Dad on his birthday as part of his birthday gifts, because what she's done is embroidered around, can you believe that? She printed a photo and embroidered, and she'd done the same on Mum and Dad's wedding photo. She'd actually put flowers in. I've got a picture in at the end of that one where she embroidered around their bouquet. It's the gorgeous photo where they've got their 2 little black cats and a lucky horseshoe, because in the UK, particularly years ago, when you got married, the little flower girls would go up and give you the good luck horseshoe to keep, you know, as just a little good luck memento. So that, I thought that was so sweet of her to do that. And there's a photo of me opening it with Abby. So thank you so much, Abby. Very, very kind. Then I couldn't believe it. This lady came up to me with this gorgeous gift bag with this card. Green Handshake Store, all handmade with ribbons. Isn't it beautiful? With the most encouraging personal letter of what she'd made for me, and I couldn't believe it. She actually, well, first of all, she gave me this pack of fat quarters of finishing fabric in the most stunning autumn colours. Because it says country sampler, you know straight away, don't you? The most gorgeous kind of grungy greens and blues, which she knows I love. Amazing for finishing autumn things. So kind. You know, I mean, so valuable. And I've never been to Country Sampler. It's on my bucket list. I'm going there before I die, let's put it that way. But, you know, that was just so sweet and generous. She said, who doesn't love a Laurie Holt? Seasonal. Look at that. Sunflower. I don't have that one. Thank you, thank you. This is from Patsy Langford, and she made me this. It's by the Scarlet House, Pumpkins and Bittersweet. I've had this chart for years. She stitched it on 40 counts. I think it's on the called for. And she lost her nerve at the last minute to make it up into a pillow. So now I've shown you, I cannot wait to make this up and have it in my little pumpkin bowls. So I've done a little video. If I can possibly add them onto the end of my what I've got up in my house, because I keep forgetting and running out of time to share my finishes with you that are in the hall, etc. So I've got 2 lovely little wooden bowls, and I think this would be just so pretty. So thank you, Patsy. I was so blown away. I've got a fabulous photograph of us at the end, but I didn't open this until I got back to my Airbnb, because I just wanted to treasure it, because I knew in this beautiful gift bag it was going to be very special. So can you believe people are this kind? That's hours of fantastic, perfect stitching on an absolute classic Scarlet House by Tanya Brockmeyer. Love it. Love it. So that was from Patsy. There's more. There's more. Honestly, you won't believe it. I met Kimmy, Rika calls her, Kim Storer, who I've just spent the weekend with in Swindon as well. She was at Kentucky. What a pleasure to meet her again, because I've met her at the attic before. She gave me a project by Rika, House of Stitch and Stash. And if you haven't seen Rika's new release of the designer Winterberry cases, what a testament to Rika's style that Winterberry have let her design an exclusive case. Just amazing. So please go on and support her and have a look at those. There's free shipping if you live in the US of those cases, and they are beautiful. So this gorgeous bag, which I thought would be so lovely, because I've got a lot of the Funfair Nikki Franklin stitches. So I just love this Tilda fabric, I think it is. Just gorgeous, with Rika's sort of tailor bow on the zip and gorgeous contrasting linen. I'm pretty sure it's Tilda. Absolutely fabulous, and such a glorious colour, red and blue, love it. And then I met Christy and Sarah, I told you, from the Half Pound Creek Stitchers, and they know that I love this linen. I've forgotten the colourway now, I have written it down. Look at their gorgeous writing. And, oh, I wish I could remember. Is it Andover Fabrics or is it Tilda? I can't remember, but it's absolutely beautiful. And they knew that I loved it because I think I must have ordered some of it. And so they made this project bag for me. Look how beautiful it, you know, it's just, and the ribbons on the bow. Oh, it's so lovely. And they've got a scissor, a little zipper pull. Just so kind and thoughtful. And I just had a lovely time sitting with them as if we were old friends and I've known them for years. And then Barry was so generous. First of all, you know we were going to stitch the Raven quilt by Blackbird Design. We both bought the kit. We're both starting a quilt along in November. I'm actually away on the 1st, so when I get back, I need to crack on with it. We thought we would do, I think there were 9 blocks, so we were going to do one every 2 months to give us a chance of doing it because we always fall behind with our stitch and quilt along plans. She gave me the backing fabric. Can you believe that? From Fat Quarter Shop. So what gorgeous fabric. This is the brown colourway, and there's the same as this in the purple and the dark colourway in the kits, which I've showed you last time. And then the ultimate gift for a cross-stitchy friend in a Christy Jones Ray. Gorgeous hand-painted card. Her artwork is just beautiful. Her children's book, she paints and writes the stories herself. Just her little cards are so gorgeous. Happy stitching, Barry. I couldn't believe what she gave me because I've been whinging away about never being able to get Lakeside linen and giving up on it and using alternatives. What she did was she went into her stash and she actually gave me, and I think I'm one short. I've left one upstairs because I just had to try and look at it against another colour actually to see which one I was going to use. So she's given me these. Let me show you them all first. I couldn't believe it. So this one is 40 count Lakeside Vintage Flagstone, and the colour is showing up about right. It's a purpley grey, and because it's the vintage Flagstone, it is quite mottled. Isn't it fabulous? So that, I fancy that one is a Fat Quarter. Then this one, 40 count Vintage Cedar Plank. Now, you know, a lot of people have stitched Louisa Barney, and you know how I'm drawn to these dark, grungy linens. Quite a few of my Michelle Tabbycat linens are these dark ones that are unnamed if I see them. So let me show you those two together so you can see the difference. The top dark one is Vintage Cedar Plank, and the lighter one is Vintage Flagstone. So they're both greys, but this is really grungy with a bit of brown. This is really grungy with a tint of a purple grey to it. So that's the two greyer ones. Then she gave me, and that's a Fat Quarter as well. Then I've got a Fat 8 of 40 count, they're all 40 count, Vintage Sand Dune. How precious. Now, there are lots of charts in my list that call for this, so I'll be able to do at least 2 smalls, if not more, on this Vintage Sand Dune. I have got Vintage Sand Dune from the attic because when it came out of the back room, I was at the table and managed to get some, but it was 36 count. So I'm excited to have 40 count. Look what a gorgeous colour. And again, that's about right. It's showing up, I think, quite well. It's just gorgeous. Quite mottled. And then I've also got a Fat half of 40 count Lakeside. This isn't vintage, so this is solid. It's buttercream. And it's a sort of it's less gold. This is the buttercream. Isn't it beautiful? I don't know if I've got anything calling for buttercream. I might do. So it's just so lovely to have these in your stash, so that when something calls for it, you can also check what you've got in your stash compared to the lakeside. So it's just brilliant almost to keep these, to know what you've got that's close to it for a match. Isn't that amazing? I mean, what a generous gift. I suspect Barry's got the most incredible collection of linens, a little bit like Brenda and Laura. Just amazing. Then one other gift. I spent a lot of time with an amazing lady, the sweetest girl, Merritt Crawford. I'm doing a little stitch along for one of the stitchery kits with Merritt. So it was so lovely to meet her face to face. She's so just because, and everybody loves Merritt. She's got a Flosstube. She's on Instagram. I'm not sure if she doesn't do some designing, but she is an amazingly accomplished quilter, and she brought her quilts along to show me. There's a photograph of one of them at the end. Look at this gift bag she brought, all autumn themed, with this yo-yo, or what we call a Suffolk puff, on a clip on this bag. I couldn't believe it, and she was so sweet. She made, it was all beautifully wrapped, look, with bows and oh, that was from my biscuits from Haiti. She made me this little thing that she's designed for people that stitch in hand, so you don't get cramp. You can wrap your work around it rather than use the, you know, the clover clips that I use. So that was so sweet, something she finds useful. So I'm interested to try it. She had one of these on, and she made me one, which I wore for the whole day with my S. She embroidered the, cross-stitched the S and made me the badge to go on my shirt. So thoughtful, and so many lovely little things. She gave me some little decorations ready for the Christmas season. This is her card. Please go and follow her on Instagram. She's the sweetest lady. And this is so thoughtful. Look what she bought me. The Weeks Dye Works, called Kentucky Bluegrass. It's the most gorgeous teal colour, greeny blue, Kentucky Bluegrass. I mean, honestly, just thoughtful. Chocolates, because she wanted Phil to have some, mole hole, and this, which was my most favourite thing. She made me this. I can't wait now to put it out in my display. Look at the wool. It looks like Weeks Dye Works gorgeous gingham wool, doesn't it? This came from her mother's wool collection, and she made it into a gorgeous little square pumpkin. So I've buried my artwork now, but you know, I say that loosely, my artwork. And the little thing made of corduroy, I mean, and a little button, and a button on the bottom. It's beautifully made. She's so talented. I'll treasure it forever. Thank you so much, Merritt. So those were some of just the incredible stitchy kindness that I've got to share with you. This was my Kentucky trip kindness. So I'm excited now to put them all to good use and get them out in my displays and everything. And then I had some haul from when we went on to the National Quilt Museum in Paducah. So this was when we paid to go in. We were lucky to get in because it's only open for a certain number of hours. I took some incredible photographs of the displays of the quilts that they had, because they had a theme of fire, and they also had an amazing collection, which if you have a look at the end, you'll be able to see some of the quilts. It was just such a good experience, and it was, yeah. And then I thought, oh, I'll have a look in the shop, and I was blown away. I spent a small fortune in the shop, but I've been very good last month, so I was so excited. First thing I got was a watercolour book. I've had these before, the Emily Lex Studio. They're hard to get. They're rip-offs on Amazon, which we should not buy, but These, sometimes you can, if you're in the States, or I have paid for the shipping one Christmas to justify it when you buy a load of them. I've given them to the girls over the years, but I've never seen this autumn one before. And they're just so beautiful. So she gives you directions on the colours, and then you paint in over there. So I'm excited to have a go. Here are some of the ones that are in the this book. So to practice your watercolours. So I treated myself to that. I also got this rather cute, I'd rather be stitching little wooden blocks, so I can put that in my stitchy room. I got a fabulous little notebook that they had for keeping lists of all my whips that I want to get on with. And then they had a gorgeous collection of fabric. I managed to get a fat quarter bundle of Tim Holt's Eclectic Elements. That's by Free Spirit. You know, last time I showed you quite a collection of these I've got to make strawberries that Nicole Spohr influenced me to get. So they were relatively new ones out on display there. And then they had these absolutely gorgeous collection of charm packs. So I couldn't resist. I got the Deb Strain, I Love Fall most of all, because these were like US prices. So they were $12.99. I think they're only $1 more than Fat Quarter Shop. And of course I could just ship them home, you know, without all the postage. So I did go a little bit crazy, but this is a gorgeous collection by Deb Strain that I've liked. Then Pumpkin Spice Gatherings by Primitive Gatherings. Well, you know how stunning her fabrics are, Primitive Gatherings. So pretty, all the pumpkin colours. Then one of my favourite designers is Brenda Riddle. This one is Memory Lane, a relatively new collection. Just fabulous ditzy prints. Look at that, tiny blue roses, really, really pretty. So I got Brenda. Oh, this is the one, Christy and Sarah's project bag was Muse by Three Sisters. I knew it would come back to me. So I love Three Sisters. They often do, what's the shape called? Not a fleur-de-lis. It'll come to me. They often do that, not a Fair Isle. Let me see if there's one in here you can help me remember what they're called. It's quite unique to them. But yeah, oh, there's the little rosy print. That's the lining in the beige of my project bag. Isn't it beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous. Just love Three Sisters. So 2 autumn ones, 2 new summery ones, and then the new Bunny Hill Christmas one, a very sweet Christmas. Absolutely love these colours. And I had, if you remember from the Fat Quarter Shop, look at that green floral, a fabulous sugarberry quilt chart for a small sort of lap size quilt. So I just would love to order another one of these because it does call for two charm packs. And then I'd be able to have a go at making that quilt up. So pretty, isn't it? And then another Christmas one because I just love coriander quilts, Corioda. This is a Christmas collection with writing and just gorgeous little Christmas colours, all the reds, blacks, greens. I just love Corioda. So there we are, 2 Christmas, 2 summer, and these 2 autumn ones. So I mean, I could have bought so many more. They had the shop, the whole back room, the whole wall was just covered in the new motor releases, and I just about nearly died because I didn't expect to find much shopping when I was in the States. So how I got all this back in my suitcase, I do not know. I picked up a few other really cute things in the quilt shop. A gorgeous little quilty pink tea towel in this fabulous waffly fabric. It's just lovely in bright pink with a quilt star kind of saying, what does it say? May this home always be filled with grace, kindness, and really good food. So that's a nice new tea towel ready for this Christmas. This was cute, I thought. A little badge for our denim jackets. A tiny little sort of quilt star that you can just pin on your jacket. Although now my jacket is so covered. Next time I must bring it out and show you, because I did pick up another couple of gorgeous things. This, which I can't wait to use, quilting rulers, Feral Notions Regular. So it's got 1.5, 2.5, 3.5 inch squares for $22, which compared to ones normally available, and they're on a little hanger, so you can just keep them in your quilty drawer. Really useful, good value. And then a gorgeous little magnetic needle minder by Matryoshka Doll Shop. So it's a little wooden one, which I thought was so sweet. And the shop were just so lovely. By this point, I was just trying to get everything I could. And then a really cute little pin cushion at the till when I checked out in this lovely ditzy fabric. So she will stay on my desk to stab pins in. I've never had one of those. So an amazing shop. I thoroughly recommend it. I was shocked how amazing it was, and I could have bought one of everything in there. And they also had these list of other shops that were nearby. If you're ever in the area, these are some of the other. So they recommended Hancock's of Paducah. For I think it was shut on the Sunday, but if you're in the area, apparently it's the most incredible fabric shop to stock up on things. So that was all my haul from my Kentucky trip. And how are we doing? Good. Then I came home, and of course all I wanted to do was stay home and stitch, because I wanted to finish my pumpkin patch, which I did. And then what else? Let me show you my book of days to see what else I stitched on. I got quite a lot done because I just stayed home quietly. Right, so there's my book of days. I went off to Nashville straight after my last Flosstube. I was away in Kentucky. Oh yeah, I need to show you. I did take a stitch with me, and in the US, I managed to stitch in the car because the roads are so amazingly smooth. I did get a little bit of stitching done when we were driving into Kentucky, and then I stitched for 2 weeks really well until Thursday morning at the crack of dawn, when I set off for Mrs. Parkman's Academy in Swindon. And of course, you don't get much stitching done when you're there, because I just talked the whole time and met all my stitchy friends. So got back last night and unpacked and thought, right, I've got to do a Flosstube today because I'm surrounded by trays of goodness. And I need to kind of get restarted. So I've got all my whips out to share with you. You'll have to forgive me because I've ironed them, but I haven't photographed them because I had so many photographs at the end. It would take so long to upload. I thought it's the only time I've never put photos in, but it would have been a step too far, and I think you would have got overwhelmed and bored. So I didn't do that. So let me just share with you now my stitching that I did next after Kentucky. I was home for 2 weeks and I got a lot done. So first of all, you'll remember my spooky summer, I got it, hashtag spooky summer stitch along with Tara, was my Scary Mouse by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. And I've had this in my stash a long time, and I was excited to get a new kind of Halloween finish for this year. So I stitched it with all the call for on the call for linen, and I've forgotten what that was now. Let's have a look. Pewter, 40 count, picture this plus pewter, and I finished it. So I stitched all the yellow pretty much on the flight over to Kentucky and in the car, and I finished it with this really cute little like mini pumpkin. I don't know the name of this, but It's just a tiny little print that I picked up here and there like you do. So I thought it was perfect for this finish. And I used Katie Strachan's triple bead finish because this stitch calls for quite a few beads. I don't know if you can see here and there around the little mouse holding the pumpkin. Everywhere there's a star, there's quite a big bead. So I thought, oh, that's a great idea to just stitch round the edge with the same beads. And also I couldn't get the chenille, which was kelp. So kelp colour chenille by Lady Dot Creates. I think this chart might be a bit older. I couldn't find it anywhere, and none of the greeny or yellow chicky ones quite matched, and the orange just looked wrong with it. So I thought that was quite a nice finish to do instead, and it kind of doesn't detract from the stitch and the beading on there. So it's a lovely finish. And then I just did my little pom-pom felt things, you know, from Cloudscraft, and you just use any coloured pins you've got and pin them in, and they're amazing because you can take them out to store them away or move them about. You know, I use those quite a lot. First time I discovered that was for the Snowball series by Brenda Gervais, and I used the turquoise and white ones in that, and you could just leave a load of them in the dough bowl or pin them on. So I'm really pleased. I've got another finish to add to my display now, so I'll be able to put it out after this video. So that was my finish for the month. Then I have got a lot of stitching because I was home for 2 weeks, and you know when you've been traveling and all you want to do is really just get home and stitch. I've got to say, I don't have the time to go off on holiday, but I won't be able to take Lottie or any of my big girls like that on a beaching holiday. So I'll just have to pick some small things and, you know, do bits here and there. Like if there's a rainy day, I'll be able to do that. So let me show you what I did manage to get done. Now, I've lost my boards now. I did bring them down, but I think they might be buried. So we'll have to carry on without them. Right, the first one, you know, every month I'm working on Lottie. She doesn't seem to be progressing. I've got my Nancy 5 Times Blessed sampler maker scissor fob there, in my gorgeous Barry Hamby Stitch Folk bag, specially designed for this project. And this is the kit from Homespun Needlework group on Facebook that was kitted up by Colorado cross stitcher Sherry, and this is the chart. It's by Needlework Press. I've got mine signed by Vicky Jeanette, who runs Needlework Press. Love everything she does, and this chart is just absolutely stunning. It's quite vibrant and bright. I won't show you now. Well, go on then, I will. I'm using the, oh yeah, and in my book of days, I finished a curry. I've got a week's curry pasted in my book of days. The bright, vibrant Weeks Dye Works on the Weeks linen, which is 40 count straw. I did iron her, but she's just got creased up in that hour sitting on the ironing board. So the bottom was there, nothing's changed. That was the same as last time. But this time last time I got to that pea coat blue, which is absolutely stunning. It's bright. And so I went down and filled in a little bit more of the border. I did the 1, 2, 3, 4 more flowers down there. And then I thought, I'm going to go in and start on the butterfly and those beautiful vase and hearty shaped flower that are just filled with the white. It's not white, I've forgotten now which colour it is. It's not an actual white, but it's something like arrowhead, maybe, something like that. A really nice variegated white, but it just, look how it pops on the linen and makes the pink and reds come alive. It's quite cloudy out there now, but there is blue sky coming and going, so the colour's changing a bit. But this is a deep golden, there we are. That's more the colour of weak straw, and the white is popping. Everything white looks amazing on it, I think. And then I went and tried, while it was in my memory, to do the exact replica. It's not actually quite exact. The butterfly colour was different, but or maybe just the spots were different. But yeah, it's so fun now to start to, you can almost, I tell you what, if I'm going on page counts, I still am only a third of the way through. But I do think some of the pages might go quicker now because there's a little bit more space between the motifs. She's fabulous. Charlotte Warrington, we call her Lottie, and so many people are stitching her. Narissa's stitching her. Steph Lake Girl Stitches is stitching her. And I just love to see everyone's progress on that. So I'm going to keep going every month with Lottie until she's done. And I'm not allowed to start any other massive big red houses and sheep on the lawn until then. Right, next I had a really good couple of days on Jane in my Laurie Holt fabulous panel bag made by Laurie, made by me, but bought by Laurie. This is Jane Bannister, 1855. This is my Welsh sampler by Hands Across the Sea. And what this weekend, I actually had Nicola and Sandra Moffat, who charted this book, sign my book. Isn't that fab? I love to get them to sign it. So I couldn't get the called for because this was on, I can't remember actually what it was on. Oh, it was just a fabric dyed by Penelope canvas, closest to DMC shade 422. But you know I'm strangely drawn to darker greys. So these are the beautiful Verissoir silks, which I'm really enjoying working with. They can be a bit fluffy, but on this linen, I'm using a Tabbycat 37 count on a Sotimer base that was an unknown linen, sorry, on Michelle Tabbycat stands in 2023 at the Great British Sampler Weekend. So I loved it and I thought it was a brilliant colour to go with these threads. And this, it's upside down, it's upside down. This is my progress. Look how she's coming on. What a gorgeous colour linen. Oh, I love Michelle at Tabbycat. She's so fun. She's just such a lot of fun, and we had such a laugh this weekend. We really did. Her shop was in chaos, should we say, because everybody wanted to have a piece of her lichen for the new stitch along for January, and none of it was labelled with the cut, the size, the count, the price. So we were all having a great laugh saying, did you find the lichen? And over the weekend it would turn up randomly here and there, so I think most of us did manage to get a piece by the end. Yes, so this time what did I do? Oh yeah, okay, last time I'd done that stunning bright red basket, and this time I did those two, get this, green birds. Yeah, I thought, oh, is that right? Have I made a mistake? But it was all in a dark green, and actually it doesn't look that weird on here now. And then I came down because I couldn't stop. I did that blue heart, pale blue and pink heart, and then I came down and did the bird and a bit more of the green, and then I just couldn't stop. I was obsessed with it. And it's going to be a massive, let me show you. It's going to be this big green old thing in the middle. So once that's in, I'm really making progress. But again, if I'm doing page counting, I'm only a third, not even that, a third of the way. I have done the 2 big flower baskets at the top. They show a lot better in person than they are here. And that blue heart does. It's not showing brilliantly on the camera, but I promise it shows. And so I really am. Suddenly it was sort of coming together a bit quicker than the border. The border's slow, but a lot of fun. Total confetti stitching. I love a pretty border. I just really enjoy it, and I think it makes the stitch. So that's Jane. She had 2 days, and yeah, I was really cracking on with her. Now next, I tried to do, after my embroidery, because you need good daylight for Nikki's kits in the morning. Once I'd finished Pumpkin Patch, I thought, right, I've got to do 1 thread a day on my red, because Narissa's just knocking out these big red Hands Across the Sea. She reckons she's going to finish Louisa Coulamore by Christmas, and she's just finished Harriet Salt. I mean, she's just a legend. So I love this. I bought it at the attic and it was calling to me. Cozy Egg. Is it Michelle? I'm sure it's Michelle, but Cozy Egg. And this is from her Legacy collection. It's Jane Ann Pig, 1871, 15 Friends. Now there's 15 friends of, who's my lovely friend? Cindy at Home on Instagram, who does amazing stitching, and I met her at the attic. Such a gorgeous lady. She and 15 friends on the 1st of November are starting this stitch along. So I've got to keep going on her, because I can't let these 15 girls now suddenly overtake me. This is one I chose, this gorgeous colour, influenced by Sandy Whispered Stitches, because she used a dusty pink and I could only get this one. This is 305 from the attic. It's beautiful, and I keep the silks in my little Mary Chokes bag. Love this stitch because I saw it in the flesh on a stand at the attic, and it is stunning. And so I did, for about that week when I wasn't embroidering in the morning, I would do 1 thread. And so now, look at this. It's on 46 count needle and flax Thornfield, one of my favourite linens. It's not as drastic as Tabby Cat Creme Brulee, which is also stunning. This is a little bit more of a gentle mottle, but a very sort of similar vibe. And I just love needle and flax linen so much. So that's the total width of her. And this time I did these things over here and took the alphabet up. And yeah, that was it. So I've got quite a few places now I can count off, if you know what I mean, because I started in the middle, and I quite like starting in the middle, because you know you're not going to run out of room on each side. And I've got a habit of being too mean and starting too close to the corner when I start bottom right. So yeah, sometimes it's easier for me just to start in the middle if there's not a border, if that makes sense. So I love this stitch. I think it's looking amazingly pretty, and I love that colour combination. So I'm excited. I'd like to, well, after, I won't be taking this to Galley Bay because it's going to get dirty. So when I get home, I'm going to, and I've got all of December, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to try and do, after my embroidery, 1 thread a day on that. Then next, I did manage to get a little day on my gorgeous, I forgot to mention my Barry bag for that, didn't I? This is my pretty tomato bag by Barry with my strawberry from Nancy. This is my, now everybody loves this stitch. This is Eunice Tancarel by Manny Donna, who is Italian. I think there's a run on these charts in 1, 2, 3 stitch, but they are in stock because people keep saying they're starting her. And I'm using the called for colour, but I'm doing mine on 40 count. This is Weeks Cocoa that Roberta so kindly sent me. And this time I came down the side. This is the one using the DMC. Such a simple piece of linen to find and threads to find. And in terms of cost, probably the cheapest stitch you can do. And yet it's the most beautiful thing. I mean, look at it. It's just so pretty. So that's the size of her now. And I started down there, bottom right. And do you see what I have a habit of doing is being a bit mean with my linen when I start, because I'm too scared I'll run out, and then having a huge top and side over this end. So starting in the middle is better for me. But I can't wait to start the motifs now. I'm still on the border, but I am making, and this headway, and this border has been slightly different. There's a grey colour being brought in. So yeah, interesting how this side is a slightly different colour. But it's so pretty. So pretty. The rosebuds, all in ecru, and a pale pink by DMC. So that is Eunice, and she's great. And that week's linen is just stunning. I love Cocoa. There's another one, Mocha, which is too orange, but Cocoa is just right. Then a little stitch, I thought, foolishly, oh, I'll be able to go in for a finish on this. Actually, she's not next. I can't find her yet. She'll come up in a minute. The next stitch I worked on for an evening, I got a good start on her, maybe 2 evenings actually, was in my gorgeous bag by Lindsay Lynn's that I shared with you on my last Flosstube that she sent me. And I had a start on this for Tara's half-year birthday, which is Merry Autumn Pinkeep. And I had a lovely piece of linen already in my stash, which I thought was a dead ringer for that. Because it calls for 36 count needle bling broom grass, which you can get at Peakside. But I had foxglove and lace driftwood in 40 counts, and I love her linens and thought this is perfect. So I should have a board. I'm afraid I don't. So just hold it here. So I just made progress. That's pretty much, well, I think that's the house done. And now the roof will go on top. So it looks a bit ghosty, but when the red roof is on, it's exactly like the chart. So nothing to worry about. And the first little chicken is in, and I can't wait to come over and do the little lady over there. And all the rest of the beautiful flowers on the bottom in the kind of reddy orange. So that's a lovely little start on a chart that's been sitting in my stash for years, never started. And that's one I could possibly take on holiday, because it's small and it's weeks, it's not silk. So it would be quite a nice little travel project in that lovely Teresa Kogut fabric. What a generous gift. There's Lindsay. Yeah, so that's a lovely one. And then this was the one I thought, I've shared with you this. This is in another little lorry bag. So sweet, these bags. And she gives you these to cut out and use so you can, you know, hang. Oh, obviously I haven't sewn mine on straight. Hang them. And a Chapel View Craft couple of cakes, because they're double zippers. This is Plum Street, Cinnamon Stars. And again, I didn't stitch this for a long time because I could not get the R&R chamomile tea. So I was brave and I gave up. This is the one with about 37 different colours in it, which is mad. And they're all the same. And actually that one's different, isn't it? Look at that rum raisin. Gorgeous colour. Absolutely beautiful threads. They're all a bit of a mess today. I feel I'm in a bit of a too hurried to have nice threads today. So I was hoping I could have made progress, but I discovered I'd made a mistake. So I spent most of the time frogging. What I'd done is, stupidly, I put 3 of the stars coming out of the chimney incorrectly, or 2, and then I'd started from this end randomly, and they didn't join up properly. It was all over the place. So obviously I'd counted wrong. I had to frog that star, frog all of these stars coming out the chimney, and actually I've left a little kind of mark in the linen there. So yeah, this is on 40 count, just Wygart summer khaki, because I thought it was a dead ringer for chamomile tea. And I just love this little stitch. And I said to Phil, do you think this is weird because it's so folky? And he said, no, I absolutely love it. So I trust him when he says, because he loves Nikki's embroidery the best. But sometimes if something's a bit sort of folky and weird, like with quilt stars in the sky, I think, oh, have I lost my mind? But when he said, no, it's really lovely, I thought it sort of encouraged me. So I've done all the bottom, all the pumpkins and the sunflowers. I just need to get these stars at the top done, and surely I could go for a finish. It's been a whip for so long, and I mean really a long time. It's just too bad. So I need to get on with it. I wonder if that could be a travel project. Oh, and I'm crushing it in the bag, and actually it was quite hard to iron the creases out of that. That's that one. Right, then I managed to get a tiny bit done on my Stacy Nash project, which, you know, we get given these whips kits at Cowslip at the retreats, which I can't go to next year. So I'm determined to finish these up. And this is in my beautiful Tonya bag from Blackberry Primitives, and my little sherry chick on the side, just so sherry. And I got a little bit more on my rabbit. Now this is stitched on Portbury Beige 36 count, which came in the kit, and it'll be finished on in a little drum like that, with the duck holding the flag. Is such a darling finish. And I promised I would share this actually with a lady that sent me a few charts to stitch by Hands Across the Sea. So I'm going to share that with her, and then she's going to post it back and we'll have it as a giveaway. So I need to get on with it, otherwise it'll be released next year. So I filled in a few of the dark green bits on the bottom, the flower, and just brought it over. I think that's the extent of it. So I've got a base off which to work now and put the other animals. There's a sheep and a duck. Very pretty fabric, but it is quite a floppity 36 count. So I don't know, it's not my favourite, but I absolutely love the colour of it. So we just got to keep going on that. I think it's very pretty, and the finish will be gorgeous. Then next, in another gorgeous Barry bag with a sampler maker and my lorry scissors with that on the back. I mean, what can you say? The most beautiful Strawberry Thief fabric in all the colours that I just love. Blues and greens, love it. So this was the one I started last time. And Rachel from Needle and Flax has stitched this. And this weekend in the flesh, I wish I knew the lady's name, I didn't ask her. I saw a lady stitching her Hands Across the Sea in the foyer of the hotel from the States. She bought the kit with the linen and the silks for something like $40 on a D-Stash site. And you won't believe, it's the first and only time I've ever seen Lakeside double-dyed autumn gold. Hers was 36 count, and you can see what the double-dyed means when you held it up. It was as if it had been dunked in an amber yellow and then over-dyed in a really grungy, dirty brown. It was the most stunning fabric you could see. So that's what Lakeside Autumn Gold this is what this one was stitched on. And it's actually nothing like the one I picked. So if you can get autumn gold, this is something you've got to put on it. This stitch is just fabulous because it's so bright. So this is the Scarlet House. This is a chart I picked up on the wheelie thing in the attic when I picked up Mary Ann Farmer, and I just couldn't help but get the 7 sheep. I've always loved it, and it was there. How I didn't pick up Rachel Hamill's at the same time, because she's actually Welsh, I don't know. But you can't have it all, can you? So I was delighted to start this. I put a couple of stitches in it, and look at the bright colours. There aren't that many colours in it, but this shocking pink is raspberry parfait. I got 10 yards of this stunning raspberry parfait, and the green is the one that I've used about 8 skeins of already. It's called Blue Spruce, because it was what my Christmas Quaker Bygone Stitches 2 was finished. All the green wording was done in that round the red. It's the most beautiful dark Christmas green. So this is what I've done this time, because I went round, once I knew the width of it, because I'd done the bands across the middle, I started on the border because I had something to count off. So last time I did the brandy yellow, Gentle Arts brandy, and the raspberry parfait. Look at the variegation in the raspberry parfait, because it goes from a dark bright pink to a pastel pink back to dark. Oh, it's just amazing. And I started counting off in the blue spruce, and it's quite a tricksy border. I'm not gonna lie, I was watching something, Great British Bake Off, and I was on the catch up, and I struggled, because I should have been concentrating. But I don't think I'd made a mistake, but I was really into Bake Off because the standard of the showstoppers is just something else. And Sophie was home the other weekend for Dad's birthday, and she doesn't come home very often because they just have such a lovely weekend planned every time in London after a hard week's work. Last thing you want to do is get on the train and come back to Cardiff. So her Cardiff friends go up to London for fun, but she did come home for Dad's birthday, bless her, and to see her best friend Meg. And she said to me that her boyfriend's sister, so Sam's sister, I think I can't even remember her name, Minnie, I think it is such a brilliant baker that what she does every week after Bake Off, she'll do the technical challenge. So like last weekend, it was the souffle, wasn't it? For everything was about meringues. And not one of them could do a proper French souffle, in the little souffle pots that are supposed to rise to double the height. They all failed. They either, like, the whites didn't go in, or they didn't rise, or they'd curdled the egg, or it was quite shocking, because they can make these incredible showstoppers, but they couldn't actually do the technical challenge. And I was thinking, I wonder if Minnie managed to do a brilliant strawberry souffle, or whatever flavour it was, raspberry maybe. So that is the 7 sheep sampler. Have I told you what linen I picked? It's annoying, because I picked a 40 count tabby cat, unnamed one that was just knocking about on her stand from 2 years ago, that I've loved, and was actually wide enough and big enough to stitch the 7 sheep on. So I love it. But I tell you what, I had to steam iron it, and I still didn't get the creases out. So that's a slight worry. I might have to use Best Press, but it's good enough for Flosstube. But when it comes to frame it, it's probably going to be the devil. Right, then this month I was really good. I was home on the 25th, so I did my stitch along with my lovely friends, Lizzie the Stitcher from New Zealand, and I found in my little, when I was looking for my pins, I found Linda's card that she gave me at Autumn of Abundance, HMB Fog on Instagram. Linda's doing the stitch along, so we got Australia, the States and Wales. doing this beautiful classic Blackbird Bells on Christmas Day, this one, and want to do everything in this book. I've done the thimble, I've done that thimble case, which I keep all my little round key tags in, and this one we're doing, Peace on Earth. It's the most gorgeous little size. When I show you, this is in my lovely project bag by Glynis, Nikki Franklin's mum at the Stitchery, in the gorgeous Acufactum, kind of like Christmassy, but not overly Christmassy fabric. And this is, I'm using my project bags instead of my board. This is on 40 count, picture this plus oaken, which is just beautiful. This is the one that we stitched Celebrate Harvest on by With Our Needle and Thread years ago. Look how tiny it is. Can you see how small it is going to be? It's going to be quite easy to frame. And I've made amazing progress this month. I've really cracked on across the bottom, done the bird, holding the little holly. I've done the big basket, flowers, and these little, I'm not sure if I did those this time. I think I did this one. So now I've only got this bit to go. And I did do that leaf on the bottom because that colour came into play. You know, it's all the classic Wickes Dye Works, Palomino, Red Pear, and I can't remember. you know, don't you? All the amazing Blackbird colours that they use. There are so many. And that beautiful checkerboard house. It's such a pretty stitch. So I think we're going to get it done. We're all going to go for a finish on the 25th of November and have it framed in time for Christmas. That's the plan. I think we can do it. I think we can. I mean, we've taken a long time to do it, but it's amazing what you can do if you just do one day a month, a little bit here and there. And I don't think we started it in January. It was after that. So we've done well. And I'm sure the others would have finished ages ago, but they were waiting for me. Bless them. That's why stitchy friends are the best. Then I had an interesting conversation with the girls from the Historical Sampler Company. They have got, now, Suzanne and Joanne from Historical Sampler Company have got the most gorgeous advent calendar that just sells out within pretty much 72 hours. They're completely gone. And part of their advent is that they have a stitch along that's a surprise stitch along, and they release it in 4 parts. And I am taking part. I'm going to agree to I'm going to try to do this. So this is the first part that was part of the advent. It was the Historical Sampler Company stitch along. It's the Magical Gingerbread House. I mean, it's sort of loosely based on, you know, this theme and vibe. And it started on the 13th of October, and I was excited. They send you the PDF and you can buy the kit or just have the PDF. And they sent me the kit. This was sitting, I'll show you in a minute, the beautiful advent box. This was sitting on the top of the advent box like this, all beautifully wrapped. I didn't delve any further because they sent me the advent box as a gift. And I'm not obviously going to share it until Christmas, and you need to share it the day after so that everyone can open it as a surprise. And in the kit for the stitch along were all the lovely DMC threads. Look at this, in all these really bright, cheery colours. And the first part was released, and I downloaded it, and that Monday morning, it must have been last week maybe, yeah, that would be right, I started it. And I didn't quite finish it, but I think before part 2 is released, 2 weeks later, which will be next Monday, I think I could possibly catch up, because I need to do the baubles. There are baubles hanging off each of these little candy cane sticks. But I've definitely taken the borders down, so that's the extent of part 1, and it's a square, and there's going to be a gingerbread house, I suspect, in the middle, and it comes in 4 parts. So the idea is you stitch it in time for Christmas, and I just thought it was such a fun, sort of pretty bright colour stitch. I couldn't resist it, and I thought it was really pretty, and they are incredibly well known, because the Historical Sampler Company, they sell their kits in my John Lewis in town. That's how I know the name. They also sell at the National Portrait Gallery Museum, and in various other sort of museums around Britain. You know, they're a really great company. And in the kit, they provided some linen that was actually 32 count. It's dyed for them to this gorgeous colour. But because it was 32 count, I decided to use my own linen from Stash. I'm happy to share this as a giveaway today. If anybody thinks they could make use of this square, it's enough for, the stitch is 177 stitches square, on 32 count in this gorgeous colour. Honestly, it's a beautiful colour for Christmas stitching. I'm happy to share that. If you would like that, let me know by using the number 1 in your comments. And thank you, guys, I haven't said thank you to everybody that likes and watches and follows and subscribes and rings the bell. It's turned 13,000 subscribers on. If I stop and think about that, I wouldn't film, because I would have stage fright. And honestly, in show and share, show and tell at Swindon, when the microphone came around, I just got complete stage fright. So it's very strange how I can come on here and talk to myself, no problem. I don't think about the number of people watching. I just think about what I'm going to talk about next here in my little, well, it's a very big desk actually, on my desk. And I just can't believe that I've got 13,000. So thank you for all your support and encouragement and kind comments. It does absolutely blow my mind. So in your comments, if you want that, it's number 1. I'll put that to one side. And this stunning linen that I'm using, have you ever seen a nicer Christmas colour? It's peppermint green, but not really. It's much cooler than that. It's more grungy than that. This is 40 count Hartfield Moss by Swan Bay Fabrics, Marie, Stitches in Diamonds. And she was at Swindon this weekend. She has been in back-to-back events selling her wares, her and Gunter. And I hope that, well, I'm pretty sure they pretty much sold out this weekend. When I tried to get their stunning pink, they've got a sort of, it's hard to describe. It's a strawberry pink in 40 count. It was sold out. Every day she replenished it. By the time I got to the table, it had gone. So, and she's got an amazing grey coming. She couldn't let us have it. She could only show us. So I don't know who was getting that sample. It's the most beautiful grey. It's going to be perfect for Louisa Barney or any of those bright GGRs or Reflet de Soirs on a dark grey linen, like the Lakeside Vintage Cedar Plank that you can't get big enough. She's going to be doing that in the new year. I think it'll be available maybe even from next month. So please go and sign up to Swan Bay Fabrics so you can see the new colour release. It is gorgeous. And everyone's going to want a piece. But this green, I was so happy I had it in Stash. So I kitted my net with that. I don't know why I'm holding it upside down the whole time, but you know. So that was a new start. And on the 27th, it'll be released by PDF. And I will be taking this to Galley Bay, stitching Christmas on the beach like a total lunatic. And then two more things. So this is from this weekend. I thought, what can I take to Swindon that I don't have to count and I can just chat? And to be honest, I hardly did any stitching on it. But again, this is in a Laurie Holt panel bag from the panels that you buy from Laurie. lined with my gorgeous songbird backing left over from a quilt cut off. After your long arm send it back, you have all this spare on the edge that you cut. In my Cedar River Jodie Trixie Tricycle little project card. And yes, this is the kit that we got at Autumn of Abundance from Paulette. So I really need to get on with this because it's so beautiful. It's called Real Comfort. The whole kit was given to us. Look at this gorgeous scissor fob. And these little bits on the front, look, the pumpkin. And the little, that was all gifted to us by Paulette. Just absolutely precious. And this stitch is, of course, Real Comfort. This kit was given to us with 36 count Fox and Rabbit Saltbush, one of my favourite linens. Absolutely love Saltbush. This one is a little bit browner. My other Saltbushes are, mind you, this could be because it's 36 count. The 40 count, I would say I've got is more grey. And this weekend, the Saltbush had a hint of green. Wait till you see what I bought this weekend. Wait till you see the linen. So this time I did all the brown filling around the flowers. I managed to do all of that, and I managed to count in some of the, I can't remember, maybe there, this side, and a little bit of the roof. So just filling in, not a lot to show for 4 days, but to be honest, I just spent the whole time talking and starting the little piece, which I'll show you next. This is beautiful, Real Comfort, and it's just going to be so pretty. So, you know, it's quite a plain house at the moment, but when all the leaves and the grass are filled in and the flowers, those tulips are in, it's just going to be spectacular. And everything Paulette does in terms of big houses is a must stitch. And then, lastly, yesterday, 3 of us, Rebecca, Britta, and myself, we all went out in the break on Sunday morning and we picked up our project bags. This one is by Sojo B from Chepstow in South Wales, who's on Instagram, I think, or maybe you got to email her, Sojo B. And look at this little tag I had for years from Shepherd's Bush. Can you see the little, it says, have you any wool? And it's like a tiny little cross stitch. I picked this up at the Peakside retreat. I don't know if you can see it. It's a tiny little sheep. Oh, it's just lovely. And this beautiful bag. I've got a red one and a blue one. I saved the blue one all this time because it's in my gorgeous Sacre Bleu fabric by French General. We've been waiting until we were all together to put our first stitch into GH 1857. This project is just beautiful. All the blues and browns, lots of smalls, and a stunning big sampler. And this is by Sued Ide, and that is Simone. And last time we went to the Great British Sampling Weekend, she was there and taught us how to do the hem stitch. There's a lovely picture up there. She is. She's so sweet. And I did write to her and ask her what this meant up here, you know, because before you stitch a sampler in a foreign language, you kind of need to know what it means. And so it does mean years old. So it was GH was age 14 years old in 1857. Yeah, because my Dutch wasn't very good. I could probably do the French, but definitely not the Dutch. So this is an old chart. This is from 2022. That's what the original, it's very pretty. And we ummed and ahed, Britta and I, oh, look at this. So I'm going with the weeks. What's fascinating is that Rebecca Brigham, who was on the table right behind me in the retreat this weekend, she's using Vicky Clayton silks. I don't think it was the Vicky Clayton necessarily conversion. I think she just picked her own from Vicky Clayton silks. I'm picked the weeks because I just think, honestly, I saw the Attic conversion in the 103 silks and they're beautiful, but they're quite, you know, navy blue and grey, whereas the weeks are bright, like they're the blues. Wait till you see them. I'm sure the silks will shine like mad when they're down, but for me, when I pick the weeks, look at these colours. I haven't cut them yet, so can you see the blues and the golds? They are bright. This blue, let me show you. It's deep sea. Deep sea is just gorgeous. It's highly, highly variegated and glacial melt. I mean, look how those two pop with the gold. So you did have to have the right linen, and we haven't done ours over the linen for a long time because it calls for, I told you this before, didn't I? The Fibre on a Whim wheat, and mine was just swathed in a big blob of green. So I can't use it for this because it just wouldn't look right, I don't think. So I chose Swan Bay Fabrics Dark Sanditon, and I think it's just a perfect match for the chart. I've got light Sanditon, a fat half, and dark Sanditon when Marie first launched, and the green. And Pemberley, I did get a lot of her linen, so it's so wonderful to be able to start to put them into use. So we literally just put a stitch in. I started bottom right. I think other people started top left, you know, however you like to start. I wanted to start in the middle, and again, I think I've probably been a bit mean. But so we put a stitch in, and Rebecca is going to set up a WhatsApp, and at least 3 other ladies came by and said, oh, we've got that chart, we'd like to join in. So please contact Rebecca. Now, Rebecca Brigham on Instagram is going to be setting up the WhatsApp for a stitch along. It's going to be the GH 1857 stitch along, and there might be one already, and that's fine. We'll tag onto that. And this is Rebecca. Look what she made. She gave me in Britta these absolutely, I can't believe these were handmade. It's very big, and she has it on her denim jacket, and it was absolutely stunning. And this is her grandfather, my recycled relatives. It's a picture of her grandfather in his little coat. Look at that. She was such fun. She was sitting next to Cece Smith. Anyway, so that's a fun stitch along, and that's all my stitching. And then I need to tell you a little bit about the Great British Sampler Weekend. So let me tell you, first of all, we arrived on, it was different this time. They added on an extra day for shopping because last time we couldn't concentrate on all the talks and stitching and the shopping because that's a day in itself. So we had a special day to do the shopping. Actually, before I do that, I need to share with you some other things. I didn't finish off the thing with the Historical Sampler Company, did I? So another thing they sent me was this amazing cotton and twine box. They have a subscription. If you go online to Cotton and Twine or Historical Sampler Company, you can find this incredible subscription, and they're going to send it to me for a couple of months to see how I get along. Now, because I've signed up for the stitch along, I'm probably not going to get to this. This is the Cotton and Twine October design, designed by Suzanne and Joanne themselves. They have lots of different designers. They have Hands-On Design, Crochet A Go-Go, many other people designing for them here and there. And it's just so beautifully packaged. So this is the design for October. The chart is in here. They sent a lolly and the most gorgeous Gisela Graham Christmas ornament, which is a metal one, which I'm going to keep, and the chocolate lolly, which I might be having later. Because I tell you, since I got back from Swindon, all I've done is eat. So I am on a nil by mouth crash diet at the moment. You get a little tea, which I'll keep, an Earl Grey organic tea, which is lovely. And then you get all the kit in this beautiful East of India gift bag, all wrapped up in this stunning paper. I can't believe the quality of the kit. I know Sarah Stitchy Spot and Cross Stitch Sarah, and I think Mama Loves You GB might get these. I'm pretty sure Just So Sherry, all of these girls are on Flosstube already subscribe or get these kits and have shared them. I'm new to this, so I'm probably not going to do it justice, but this is the cotton. I don't want to undo it. It's got the gold needle. It's got all the DMC threads for this really pretty Christmas stitch and all the finishing materials. And if I show you this is the backing fabric. Really pretty Christmas. It's got the linen, which I'm guessing is a 32 count, white, vintage white maybe. And the rip-rack trim to go around the edge. And even more, I heard from the girls that they have a QR code, and if you click on that, you will get a link to their finishing tutorials. And guess who is their professional finisher? Marie from Stitches in Diamonds. So it's a small world, isn't it? The fact that Marie's fabric I can use for the stitch along, which kind of coordinates a little bit with the historical sampler 32 count stuff. It just all coordinates beautifully. So if anybody would like to have the finishing pack and the linen and threads for the cotton and twine, please use, I've lost count now. This will be, I think it's number, well, let's say 2 for this. This will be, so that'll be giveaway 1. This one will be giveaway 2, because that's a little whole kit on its own, isn't it? And I'll put it all back in the bag. And I won't use that box because it'll cost me a fortune to ship in it. What I'll do is I'll put that in a jiffy bag and post that to you as a standalone item. So that'll be number 2. And I'll just quickly show you, so you know for next year, to sign up to Historical Sampler Company to get their newsletter. When you see this, you will want to sign up, because I have never seen such a beautifully packaged advent box. Look at that. I was staggered when they offered to send me this. And honestly, I'm so grateful. So this is the Magical Gingerbread House advent box. And on the top, the stitch along kit was all in there, ready to start. Just amazing. Inside are 24 individual packages, one for each day of Advent. Just all beautifully done. Look at this. There's a bag with all of the finishing items in here. And the threads, brightly coloured threads and red and white, beautiful Christmas vibe fabric. I was so excited. I haven't gone any further into the pack because I don't want to spoil it for myself. I will be keeping that for Advent. And I promise to try and share as many of the things the day after they're released, so I don't spoil the surprise. So do sign up, because it's so reasonably priced. I wanted to buy this and it was completely sold out. So they very, very kindly had 1 or 2 spares and offered to send it to me. So it really is worth signing up for. I say it's really good value for money. So that's one of the advent boxes. Then I need to show you my embroidery that I finished for the month. So when I got back from Kentucky, first thing I did was finish my pumpkin wreath, and then the herbarium, the subscription arrived from Nikki Franklin, the Stitchery, for October. And this month, this is September. And this month I got muddled up because to me the poppy is a November stitch, but it's the poppy. So this is the September, and it's always a sort of a couple of weeks behind. So that's right. So in October you get the September kit, if that makes sense. These are the absolutely beautiful colours. And dusty greens. One bright red. Actually a dull red, a dark red, a poppy red, but you get the gist of the colours, don't you? And these pink poppies are really pretty. Mind you, they did take some serious stitching. So he's long and short stitch, which I have to say is probably the one I struggle with the most. I find bullion knots even easier. There's my progress. I finished it. My favourite bit of it is these. I always love these at the end when you filled in. You do those spiky little long ones over the edge that make it almost look like a rose, the thorns on a rosebud. Love it. See how the light's catching it? So it's long and short stitch with 3 different colour pinks, and on the larger one sort of satin stitch, but with 2 threads, so it's not perfect. It's meant to be a little bit more rustic, so it goes with the long and short. And then the lovely pistol stitches with the black and red, 1 strand of the dark red that I showed you and 1 strand of the black. It's charcoal actually. And you do basically an elongated French knot. It's pistol stitch, and just makes it look like the little seeds in the centre of a poppy. Isn't it lovely? Really pretty. I failed to iron the hoop marker. I think I was in a bit of a hurry this morning. So the label will go on that, and it'll be cut down at some point. So I'm up to date. And of course, Nikki's sister, Sarah, who's opened her own premises now, the Stitchery Sisters, released the label, which is on 46 count, needle and flax Thornfield. And this is, so what does it say? In Flanders fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row. Isn't that lovely? I just love these. It's quite, they take days. Honestly, they take me days. But I really, really enjoy them. And I think they look amazing on that linen. Did I buy more needle and flax linen this weekend? I did. To replenish my stash, because I used up all my 46 count. So that was my embroidery. Then my quilting for the month. How I managed to get this done, guys, I don't know, because honestly, Kimberly said, I quote, it took me 2.5 hours. It took me 2.5 days. With a little bit of cross stitch, you know, in the nights. But yeah, this is the beautiful book, Vintage Christmas, that I've had for years from Fat Quarter Shop. This has been recoloured out to those pastels that nobody could get anymore into Laurie's Hometown Holiday, more muted shades with this fabulous paisley. That's the pattern that the Three Sisters are known for having, a beautiful paisley print. This has got a paisley print in that fabulous grey background on the baby in the manger. So this month, these are just fabulous. I can't tell you how adorable these little things are. They're all 6-inch blocks, right? So at the moment they're 6.5, and they'll go into seams and lose 1/4 of an inch all round. Toy drum. And look, I was so happy because Kimberly said her lines weren't straight, but mine are straight. Total fluke. Total fluke. I'm sorry I haven't got my board, but hopefully you can see. So the little drumsticks on the top and the drum. Ah, it's so sweet. That's toy drum. Actually, do you know what? I don't like to show the back because you will not believe the seams on. Look how many seams. I mean, if you're not pressing open, I don't know how people handle pressing to one side. I've never liked pressing to one side. I always press open. This, an absolute massive seams and tiny 5/8 of an inch pieces around the side of their faces. They'll have little French knots for their eyes. These are the toy soldiers. I mean, kill me now. Aren't they fabulous? I'm dead chuffed with those. Probably took me a day. Pretty impressive, aren't they? I mean, not my stitching because they're not perfect, but just Laurie's little 6-inch blocks. This is a quilt along with the Fat Quarter Shop that I bought the kit myself and joined Kimberly. So I'm desperately trying to keep up. And now I'm away for 2 weeks in November and the Raven Quilt's starting with Barry and everyone else. And I don't know, maybe in 2 years we can keep going with the Raven. This is the toy train. I mean, have you ever seen anything cuter than that? They are just lovely. I love them. And they're so much fun. They're the hardest blocks I've ever done. And this is the Twinkle Lights block. And every month there's one more fabric that you use for the first time. And this time it was this background beautiful grey with the sheet music. And so I'd never used that before. Isn't it funny? Some colours get used over and over. And my block in the middle, I'm pretty lucky, pretty proud of it, but also lucky that the white blobs on that big daisy are not against the white blob of the background, because again, Kimberly hers was winding her up, and I knew she kind of wanted to unpick it, but you can't, because you just can't. That's how it is with the scrappy. You just got to go with it, haven't you? So that was my Laurie homework. So the vintage Christmas quilt along, I'm up to date. What have I got? We got another 2 months worth. October and November. Oh man, I'm not going to get my October ones done. I know I'm not, because I'm going on Sunday, but I'll just have to catch up. And I have done well to keep up with this with all my other commitments. Then another little thing I started, if I can, I'll do an extra little video of this. I did start another couple of blocks of my Pumpkins and Haystacks quilt by Laurie Holt. I bought this quilt last year from, was this the Fat Quarter Shop? I think it was actually, yes. And it came with these really cute Laurie shapes. Now you'll remember I did 4 blocks last year, so the top row. I haven't got the chart with me this time, but there's basically only 3 pieces to this. That, the different colour orange over the middle, and the, and the little stalk, which I don't seem to have. And these are all on beautiful Laurie Holt autumn colours. Really fun. Really, really fun. And kind of, this is what they look at a little bit. These are some of the spares. All the greens and oranges and blues and lots of browns, and that gorgeous neutral called the lattes, all the lattes for the background. So I did work on 4 more of the big background. I think they're 16 or 18-inch squares. And if I have time when I come back before I switch into Christmas mode, I'll do the applique pumpkins for the middle. But that's okay. You know, I can bring this out next year now if I need to do a few more blocks to do the second row. What else? I've showed you this, that Barry's given me the backing for, so we'll be starting this on the 1st of November. There are 9 blocks. So if we do one every 2 months, we should be finished in 1.5 years. Yeah. So by the time I get together with Kathy Purden from Tasmania, who was there this weekend, she picked her fabric up for this. And we said, when we meet in Swindon, all being well, in 2 years' time for the next Nicola Parkman retreat, we'll be able to have our raven quilts finished. Well, maybe we will actually, because if it takes 18 months to do the quilt along with Barry, one block every 2 months, which should be doable, shouldn't it? Then we've got a couple of months to get it rows pieced together and long arm quilted before we all meet up. Wouldn't that be amazing if we could get it done before October 31st, 2027? Such a beautiful, absolutely classic quilt. I've got a photograph of the one I saw in the flesh at the Malvern Quilt Show, laying over the lady's stall that she did the first time round, and it is so beautiful. I fished the photo out and managed to put it in at the end. And then one other thing I've got to share with you on quilts before I share with you some happy men and the giveaways, don't let me forget, is I did manage to get my hands on the beautiful Tilda Christmas quilt bundle, and I got this, oh, and is that the binding or the sashing perhaps? That's the backing, the Tilda Basic. And I got this from Holly's Haberdashery in the UK. Never shopped there before, but obviously they're big Tilda suppliers. If anybody's trying to get hold of this range and can't get it at your usual quilt shop, they have got it at Holly's Haberdashery. It's a flagship store for Tilda. I mean, this catalogue alone is just so beautiful. And this is the quilt. It's a free chart. They sent it with the kit, but you can download this off the Tilda website totally for free. There were 2 colourways. I picked the red and teal, duck egg blue, or teal, or I can't, yeah, red and duck egg they called it. And there was another in green and pink, which was beautiful. Honestly, I couldn't decide, so I kind of wished I got both. I think Lisa, Kindred Stitcher, did get both, didn't she? She managed to track down the both of them. And I mean, they're just so beautiful. So that would be really fun in December. I'm having eye surgery. I've got a possible basal cell carcinoma on my eyelid. I'm having a little biopsy done at the end of November, and I might have to have it cut out and have stitches. And if I do, I won't be able to go anywhere for a good couple of weeks, probably 4 weeks, the doctor said. So if that's the case, I'm really hoping I'll be able to use my eyes and like quilt or stitch. Because if I'm going to be locked up at home, I don't mind if I've got this beauty to stitch. So excited. So I was a bit bad, but last month, you'll remember, I didn't really buy anything, did I? I had no haul. So that was my haul for quilts. Next, when I got back from Kentucky, I had about 4 parcels sitting outside my front door, very naughty because they could have got nicked, but luckily they didn't. First thing I had was a really cute little beautiful card. Look at this. From the lovely Sarah Steele of So Be Stitchery, because you'll remember I had a giveaway for her lovely little chart by Louisa May Alcott with that classic, and so many people stitched this. When I watched Sarah's Stitchy Spot, so many of her viewers sent in pictures of their finishes of this. Nothing is impossible to a determined woman. That is so true. And so many people bought it and stitched it. She sent me this gorgeous little squirrel autumn scissor fob. Isn't that kind to say thank you? So thank you to everyone that ordered that stitch, because I ended up benefiting from that. How sweet. So I put that to one side. And I also had this amazing, beautiful, detailed in the most stunning handwriting letter from Nancy Sutherland. Now, I told you about Nancy because the minute I showed the Bunny Hill, my garden, my summer house quilt, I can never remember what it's called, my summer garden, you know the quilt, the Bunny Hill one, she joined me. She bought this kit in the States. She lives in the Hudson Valley and she stitches her applique down onto the background by hand on her train journey into New York City every day to work, or when she's working. And I couldn't believe it. She sent me Happy Mail. Well, and this card, it just almost made me cry actually to think of her going into work and stitching along with me on that beautiful quilt that I showed you last time, didn't I? All the shapes that are like this going around the border. And she used up some of her Bunny Hill fabric to make me this beautiful size. I love the size of it. Project bag out of all the beautiful Bunny Hill My Garden House quilt pieces. It's so beautifully made. And she gave me, I think it's a lollipop, like it looks like a rocket lolly, and it's all pieced with a thread bed. I mean, it's just so kind, as if she hasn't got enough to do. Beautifully lined. I will use it and love it and treasure it, and I'll always remember, Nancy, that you stitched along with me. It's just so kind. And she sent me another one which has got this beautiful strawberry and an initial S on it. And this is made with strawberry fabric. I don't even know what the brand of this fabric is, but it's so pretty. I've seen it before. And a beautiful bright green zip and strawberry lining. Look at that. Oh, it's so precious, so kind. I love it. I think the size is absolute perfection. And I'll put them to good use straight away. So thank you, Nancy. And you've made amazing progress. She's actually pieced her rows and put one of the borders on as well. She's got one of those quilty fabric displays behind her that she can properly hang her quilt. So that was a fabulous, and then another little beautiful stitchy kindness I had just before I left for the retreat from a lady called Monique Johnston. I wasn't expecting this. She hadn't told me she was sending anything. And she's been watching my Flosstubes, and she has sewn for many, many years, but has recently got back into cross stitch because of all us cross stitchers influencing her. She started as a sewer working at Country Bumpkin in Adelaide, South Australia. Now, Country Bumpkin is the publication place for the inspiration magazines that many of you will recognise for brilliant crafty projects. Look at the card. Look at those bullion knots on the front. Wow. Isn't that beautiful? I'll never ever, I always keep my cards from all of you in a box of stitching treasures. But this is what she said. So she used to work at Country Bumpkin. It was the home of the Australia Smocking and Embroidery magazine, as well as Inspirations magazine. And she now works at the Bobbin Tree by Inspirations a couple of days of the week, teaching and sewing in the shop. I mean, what an amazing job. She said, thank you. I have rediscovered the world of cross stitch and I'm loving it. This is what she sent me. A beautiful handmade pudding. I don't know if you can see the sparkle there. Look at that. Individual little beads. A Christmas pudding. I mean, honestly. Just a treasure. It'll be on my Christmas tree. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Monique. And I've started following her and all her beautiful sewing projects on Instagram. I can't believe that that's come all the way from Australia like that. But even more touching than that gift was that she sent me 2 fat quarters of fabric that she knew that we cut. This is the Sandy Gervais. That, do you remember my friend Maureen Abramson sent me a almost replica because I used it up finishing my Maggie May little stitched radish piece, and I've finished quite a few pillows and things with this fabric and I'm running out of it. It's like gold dust, and she obviously had some in Australia. She sent me 2 whole pieces of this stunning mini rosebud. It's got to be my most favourite fabric to back things with, and I've now got another stash of it. So thank you, thank you. I can't tell you how grateful I am and how much that means to me that you just saw that and thought of me. This fabulous rosebud is called Rambling Rose by Sandy Gervais. And if anybody can find it, I suggest you snap it up, because it's just the most perfect brown for backing a little linen stitch piece. So what a package that came in the post when I got back from Kentucky. So that was that. And then I went off to Swindon. Yes. I've got through all of that on the floor. Then I went to Swindon, and of course we had an amazing shopping day on Thursday. Met up with all of our friends. I met up with Crafting Kirsty and Stitchy Rach and Sue from Peakside and Adele, Smurfette Stitches. I met Janet Dodd. I met all my UK girls and Leslie Tuppence Perry, who I go to the Malvern Quilt Show with Kirsty. So it was so lovely, and we did stay up one night in the bar and had quite a few drinks. I also met Steph, Late Girl Stitches, and Audrey's Stitch Bead, and so many other women. I put a load of photographs. If I had a photo, I was so busy I didn't take many photos. But the ones I did have, I've put in at the end. I met Judith, all the way from New Zealand, who's Narissa's friend, and the stitchy kindness I got, I can't tell you. But let me tell you that the first thing that happened when I walked through the door, I was blown away, because who came up to me? Brenda Sampler Stitcher, and her and Laura were already in the room because they come the day before. So Laura, the serial starter, I just couldn't believe it, and we had a massive hug and great fun, and we just got totally overexcited and did our shopping in the pop-up shop, you know. And I didn't manage to get a picture of all the linens. There was the fox and rabbit linen was just out of this world. Every count, every colour, all beautifully packaged neatly and labelled. Then the amazing tabby cat linen Michelle, all her colours. Not so much labelled and priced, but just an array. It was just stunning, all just on the table in the count, you know, and you just had to, I don't know, a lot of it was unnamed again, and it was just stunning. And then Cedar River, the Cedar River linens were there. I didn't buy enough. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have bought a lot more. I didn't get overcast. I can't believe it, because I came home, thought I had it, and I've run out. And then Needle and Flax. So I did get quite a few of Rachel's, because I absolutely love her linen. So I managed to get loads of linen and a few other things, you know, in the pop-up shop, which I'll show you at the end. Let me just check. I forgot to do giveaways. I'll do that right at the end. So then we sat down then on the Friday night. The official event opened. Nicola opened it. Everything she did was brilliant. We got to our tables, and I couldn't believe it. We had this exclusively designed, one-off, unique colourway, especially for Nicola, for Mrs. Parkman's Academy this year, 2025. This Winterbury case from Hobby House Needleworks, because they're the sponsor of Nicola's Swindon events, you see. So this was the colourway, this beautiful, shocking cerise pink and minty green lining. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. We were all blown away. It also had the little case, and inside were little clover clips and rivets for finishing a paper project that we did on Sunday morning. We had the linen for our project wrapped up in this little ribbon with the beautiful little scissors dangling off it. We had the Avera Soie silk in this beautiful colourway, 2925, just perfect for a red sampler. These gorgeous little needles. I mean, look, it's all been branded with Academy of Needlework, especially for this event. I couldn't believe it. For the paperwork project, these cute little, where's my camera? Here. And a tape measure, a little cute little bobbin that's just so lovely for your displays, and that comes into use for one of the projects. These beautiful floss drops with, again, the logo all designed especially for the event, the Academy of Needlework, Mrs. Partman's. And each of the pictures is different. I mean, honestly, just beautifully done. Everything was so tasteful. In a special red box was the prefect's badge. Mrs. You know, in Britain, in schools, you always get your prefect or your, well, when my brother wasn't picked for a prefect, he bought a sheriff badge and wore it to school until he got detention for it. Yeah, I don't think I was a prefect either, was I? I'm not sure, maybe. Mrs. Partman's Academy of Needlework. It was just beautifully done. In the bottom layer is a little thing, the glues for our paper project, and a lovely berry mix hand cream, because we were working with a Verissoir silk, so you've got to have your hand cream. So that was the gift that was on our table waiting for us. And then we had the most incredible, we had other things. We had this full of Victorian boiled sweets, which was a thing at the time. This little tin, the lid comes off. I've seen these before and always wanted one, all in different colours. We had a beautiful mug to commemorate the event, and always lined with Nicola's red, and a little coaster. Isn't that lovely? We had a fabulous tote bag, which has got a zip on it, that was super useful to put all the things in when we left, because we were literally all staggering to the car with our projects and shopping. It was lovely. And then on our desks, we had our first project. Now, the linen in the Winterbury case was provided, and the silk of Verissoir was to do this project, which we had a copy of the album for, which was a sample of stitches done to standard by a little girl called Maud Newman. And this was an absolute copy replica of her needlework book from 1893. So the theme of the Swindon retreat was the Victorian schoolroom, and how they were taught needlework and what they were taught, and the sample of the stitches that were done to standard. And Nicola's talks are just so, I mean, I don't know how to show these things, but they were just so amazing. So her little, and this is the project that we had to do in class. The real sample of this Nicola's got, and this as well was on display. The little smocked dress, that was part of the work that they had to do to standard, smocking on the dress. I mean, all beautifully done. So there's little Maud. That was the project that we were given. And Britta pretty much finished it. I made a good start on it. I think I talked too much. This was the little booklet that it was all, and we had a little paper one to practice on, so we know how to fold and do the hem stitch. And I've got to say, Nicola did a great tutorial on the hem stitch, but so did Jane Greenoff in our finishing workshop on the Friday morning. So I feel I got the hem stitch down now. This was the book that Nicola had printed for us for Maud Newman, 1893, Haberdasher's School in London. Now, she was a wealthy little girl. This was one of the samples that I just showed you, taken from her needlework book. And it was, oh no, it wasn't her that was wealthy. I think she would have been wealthy because she went to the haberdasher school. And yeah, she would have been the daughter of a middle-class tradesman or professional. But yeah, so it gives you all a lot of detail in the front, and then a copy of the chart that we had to work on in the class, and the little paper one that we practiced folding and tried to get that right. So I'll show you how far I got. This, oh, and we also had a fabulous needlework specimen book in which we can record all our attempts, and that gorgeous fob, look at that, with the scissors and a beautiful pen, so we can keep a record of all the stitches that we've attempted in 2025. And you know what, that would be amazing for me to have done with all my embroidery stitches that I've done with Nikki. And now I've done these as well, because never before have I had to do the feather stitch, the double feather stitch, and the even the triple feather, which I've just started now, because I can tell you all of the stitches in Nikki Franklin's embroidery, where you just freestyle, are very easy to do. But to do it on counted linen, and this is a 36 count, I think it's natural raw linen, was a challenge. And I've still got to go back up here and finish one of my buttonholes in that space there. So it's not perfect, but I've had a good go at my little sampler by Maud, and it'll say her name underneath, and then we pull a thread and learn to do the hem stitch. And I thought that would be so sweet if it fits in my meditation book that I'm making with from the Stitchery. This would be an extraordinary piece to put in, because it would have all the memories of Swindon and the amazing friends that I managed to meet and catch up with, and it was just precious. I did get a chance to go out for dinner and meet Becky, Willow Hair's Stitching, and Sally Humble Bumble Stitcher, who I'm sure you all follow because her work, they're doing retreats together. They're going to be doing one in the States next year, I think on Lake Michigan, and they're teaching at the Whitchurch Silk Mill this year, which I soon, at the end of October when I'm away. That's why I couldn't sign up, but I'm pretty sure they're sold out for that. But what an amazing combination of crafts, because Sally is designing cross-stitch charts for that. And she's a punch needler and a crafter. I'll show you when it comes to Stitchy Kindness, what she gifted us. And her lovely friend Jill, Pink Moon Gazing Hair, who I've got a little something from as well. I'll show you her label. So I made a good start on my homework, and I'd love to finish that as soon as I can and have it ready to put in my book of my meditation book. Then, so we went out for dinner on Thursday night. Friday morning, we woke up and we had our workshop with Jane Greenoff. Now, I knew I wasn't going to do the homework. I didn't even try. But when I saw the girls finished pieces, the stitching, and then Jane was helping them make the needle book up on the day, I was very sorry I didn't do it. I put a picture in at the end. It was a stunning project. It's part of her Secret Inheritance book, and she brought her box to show us. Oh, it was amazing, all done in cross stitch. She brought it to show us on show and tell on Saturday night. It was quite incredible. This was the little thing that Jane gave us in her workshop with, of course, she runs the cross stitch guild. So if you ever want to join up the Cross Stitch Guild, you can Google that and you get 10% off all Jane's purchases in her online shop. She's got incredible little tutorials on, as a little bookmark, a little strawberry she's got on the back of the bookmark to stitch, how to practice the hem stitch turn, how the needle book should be folded together in paper so that we know, because it's such a difficult thing to put together, and a masterclass in the hem stitch with the QR code. So a little treasure of finishing things that we learned from Jane. Such a fascinating really funny after dinner speaker as well. I mean, we could listen, I could have listened to her for hours. She's hilarious. And again, she just lets her husband run the shop and she goes around. What else did we have? We had a paper project by the very talented Emma Parish from North Wales. Nicola had this incredible junk journal paper project, all made up. And again, we got two. We got one ready cut for us and one to have a go at cutting out ourselves when we got home. This one, we tried our best to glue in class. I didn't get mine finished, but I made a really good start. And you open all that you can put your papers and tags in the little envelopes. You've got the little buttons and everything. So you tie cotton around your buttons, which we've put on there, and you can tuck things in, and you've got secret compartments. Really fun junk journaling project, which I hope I would finish before I forget how to do it. And so that kept us quiet on Sunday morning. It was like a Blue Peter workshop. Some people were too scared to try it, so they were waiting till they got home, and quite frankly, I don't blame them. And then we were given this stunning project by Nicola, Jane Backhouse. This was the little girl that was hugely wealthy, 1824. Was it her? I think it was. One of the girls, I'm not getting muddled up, am I? One of the girls lived on, I might be getting muddled up, lived in Berkeley Square in London. Just let me check, was it this one? Maybe not. Maybe it's Maria. It was Maria, actually. It's Maria Wells Newson that lives in Berkeley Square. This was the cute release that we had as our sort of project at the retreat. Just beautiful. And I did manage to buy the funny little quilted, because these are specialty stitches, so pretty. And the amazing little quilted people, I got them the magnet and the little scissor fob for that. So that was what we were gifted from Nicola. And then we had an amazing talk from the lovely Kathleen Littleton. She's the sweetest person. She, as you know, signed my Rachel de la Mare 1848. And this chart is now available to everybody. It's beautiful, and somebody had stitched it and brought it and put it on her table as a kind of display model. And she gave a lecture, training in needlework, specimen books of British, but mainly Irish national model schools. And she had the most beautiful little Irish samplers. And my friend, Sharon Bruce from Ireland, was there with her little finished sampler and had a wonderful picture that Kathleen put on her Instagram holding their Irish samplers up. And I think there's a picture of it in the book, actually, that one. So pretty. So that's in Kathleen's personal collection. And here it is. We were given the chart when we were there. So I'm very excited to do that. I think it's very pretty. And that's a standard sort of Irish sampler with the green and rose berry borders. So that was very pretty. We had, Cece did an amazing talk on Scottish castles and samplers. And then the amazing Ray Niles gave a wonderful talk and gifted us this Red Barn Samplers, Ray Niles. She's so entertaining. I could listen to her all day. She had these darling little models with her, and she gave us the chart and the painter threads. Everyone had a different colour. I had this beautiful sort of it's like a bluey grey, but it's got bits of everything. I've never had painter's threads before, so I'm so excited to try that. Britta's was a beautiful green. Mine was a beautiful blue grey. So that's 117. And apparently Fobbles in the UK does sell painter's threads. Oops, that's the chart. I'm sorry. That's the side I should show. So that was the amazing talk we had. And Ray talked about the houses on all the samplers, the buildings. on all the samplers in her collection, which was just so entertaining and funny. She's amazing. So that was, we also had entertainment on the Saturday night by Tom, who was the royal photographer for the Queen for 30 years, worked on the Royal Yacht Britannia. And he ended by actually singing and playing his little, was it a mandolin? I never quite knew what it was, or ukulele. And he sang to us a John Denver song and showed me the way to go home. And it was just so much fun. It was a lovely, lovely evening. And Jane Greenoff gave a really entertaining talk as well about how she got her things into Liberty, how she got her kits in with her, literally when her baby was in a buggy, that sort of age. She blagged her way into Liberty. So entertaining. So the last thing I'll end off with is the things that I picked up, because I've saved this to show you. So a couple of exclusive charts were released in the shop when we were there. This one, Emma Wright, a very small one. When I saw it, one over, I don't know how it was, but I think it was 56 count. Emma Wright, 1904, in these bright colours on 56 count. It was just beautiful. Had to buy her. She was on display and I tried to get a photograph of her. Charlotte Mash, done on Cedar River Overcast with, again, painter's threads in Waterhouse painter's thread. Need to get that. And this would be perfect for Black November stitching, wouldn't it? Charlotte Mash, 1830. To be happy is to be good. Really pretty. So that was a new one, brand new one released. I've told you before, didn't I, that I got Maria Wells Newsom. She's the one that lived, whose father was a wealthy builder and lived in Bloomfield Terrace, which is in Belgravia, in very wealthy part of London. So if you ever visit London, be sure to stroll along Bloomfield Terrace and admire the grand London townhouses. When you pass number 3, 19 or 25, think of Maria and which of those houses this sampler would have hung in, because her father paid for her to be schooled and learn how to stitch like this. And this sampler would have been in one of those houses because she lived in all 3. This is a stitch along starting in January. And this weekend I managed to get the linen. And I've been slowly collecting the threads, the 103s for this. And I finally managed to get a piece of Tabby Cat in lichen. So I'll show you now some of the things I bought. Okay, a few things I picked up in the little shop. I did get some of the little Sue Mini McBean's needles. I got a strawberry and I got a frog. I got the cute Sarah Backhouse. Look at that. I couldn't leave it there. The Sarah Backhouse quilted people, their little scissor fob for that. And I got the pomegranates, because I bought the strawberry before from my Winterberry case. I managed to get the little pomegranates. They pretty much sold out. I got the Maria Wells Newsom fob. The thing is, you can only find these if you're actually at the attic, or that's one of the charts that had completely sold out. Even by the time I got there by 10 o'clock on Thursday, it sold out. The one with the stunning, it's a new one from the last 3 months, with the bouquet baskets. I can't remember what it was called, but something about ceasing learning. So I don't know why I got 2 of those, but I did. Then I did buy the little project that Nicola, it's like a little portfolio that you, a needle case that lies flat, and it's got a little EPP pincushion in there. Heaven knows when I'll get to that, but I really like the look of that. I did go to Jane Greenoff's stall. I did get the Nautique needle roll. This was so beautifully finished on her stall. So it comes with the little spool and the scissors and the vintage buttons and the pretend little ivory fish, and it is so cute. I don't think Phil will get this far. It's got the threads, it's got the linen, the band linen, and the chart, and it's so cute. Let me show you. I thought I would make this for Phil for his 75th birthday because it's finished with the little fish and you put the scissors in the top, and it's minimal stitching, so it won't upset me too much. That I think it might be 2 over 2, but it was so beautiful when it was made up. It's just a lovely little stitch. And then you know that I want to start Catherine Archer, the beautiful red sampler. Now last time, 2 years ago, she had the notebook. This time she had this just gorgeous little needle case, and I thought, seeing as that sampler is a 10-year project, I would invest in the little needle book. So I'll open it out and I will keep my threads, my little needle for that in there, and it just was beautifully done in that little box. That's her card, Jane Greenoff, and she's based at Pink's Barn. Very interesting lady. And then when we were in her finishing class, I couldn't resist. She'd had this designed for her from a local carpenter to match the drawer that sits in the top of her secret inheritance box, casket that she shared with us. Inside, it's got everything. Let me just get rid of these. It's got a handmade counting pin, which are really useful for dragging along the linen to make your hem stitch. It's what she used in class, and I managed to get a beautiful green one. 3 of these lovely sort of floss winders together that look like the ivory. A little strawberry finishing kit with the metal top and all the beads and the fabric that she'd made hers up from. A beautiful handcrafted raspberry waxer from Kate Bowles. And she had them all made up on display in her little box. I mean, I just couldn't leave it there. The paper to line the box with her design on. The gorgeous little Secret Inheritance needlebook, a bit like the Catherine Archer one, handcrafted by Kate Bowles. Look at this. All of this is available from her shop, you know, or through the guild. Have I tied a knot in this? And inside, little packets to keep your needles and the fabric, and it's just beautifully done. Absolutely beautiful. So that for me with my Nikki Franklin needles is really useful, because you do have to have all the different sizes for the embroidery, not like I just use 28 for cross stitch. So you do need little needle books, and it's just a treasure. That's so precious. That's in there. There's a bookmark in there, and then this, the nécessaire, they call them. So it's like a little roll in her fabric. And inside is the little, so inside we've got the ruler, which is an old piano key. Which is, I've already got one in my travel stitchy case. We've got a seam ripper. This is what a necessaire is for, apparently. We've got a scorer to do our hem stitch, or an unpicker. And we've also got this amazing thing where you can pull your stitches through. You know, it's a needle but on a tool, so you can drag your little things through when you've, you know what it's called, when you have to pull through from the back. So that was just an absolutely darling little kit that I quite frankly couldn't leave. Should I bought it? Absolutely not. I was trying to be good, but Jane, she's quite a good she's a natural born saleswoman, to be honest. And now I can't fit it all back in, but you know. Oh, I know why, because one of them didn't come from in there, did it? So that was Jane's, I thought, rather beautifully packed box of absolute treasures. And we don't get out much with a chance to do proper shopping. So when you see things in the flash, you've got to get them. And now I'm going to show you the linen I bought. And I'm so sorry, guys, this is a long one. This is a long one, but next time I won't have any shopping because I'll have been away on holiday. This, oh man, look at this. Look at this goodness. I've got the most amazing array of colours here. And I know it's impossible, isn't it, to buy online well? But when you were there to see everything in the flesh, I've kind of got a really good array of different colours. So let me talk you through what I got. Get rid of those. Get rid of that. Right. So from the top, these top few are Tabby Cat. This top one is actually, this is annoying actually, because it says wood smoke 46, but it's actually a limited edition. So this means it's not like normal wood smoke, if that makes sense. It's a little bit maybe greener, bit darker, and that's why I was strangely drawn to it. So that is, I think it's only a fat quarter of 46 count wood smoke. Then to contrast it, Michelle's fabulous new colour is called Shaker Grey. So she has just released this, and there's another amazing new one coming in January that was an exclusive to Hobby House. It's like a duck egg blue with a grungy grey all through it. So this Shaker Grey is beautiful. I got it in 46 and I got it in 40. I hope the light is gone a bit dark. I hope you can see that nicely. And so let me put the wood smoke to give you an idea. So the wood smoke's definitely more brown compared to the Shaker Grey, but it's got a tint of green, because I thought if I can't get lichen, I was going to use that wood smoke. But then miraculously more lichen appeared. This I picked up again at Tabby Cat. Just don't know what the name is. It was just sitting around there. Absolutely beautiful, because there's a grey and a reddy pink mottle. I thought it would be amazing for patriotic stitching next year. So I just bought a little fat quarter of that. Wasn't it pretty? Just sitting around there. So that's another one I got. And then I managed to pick up the lichen. Now, apparently, I hope Michelle is right, because she said this lichen, which is the greeny one called for Maria Newsom, it doesn't look green. It's like a flat grey, green, sort of stony colour in the actual model that was there. But is it coming over green on the, it really is green in my hand. There, I think it is green. So lichen, shaker grey, wood smoke. And that lichen really is quite green. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. I hope it's coming over as green there, because it is. And that apparently is the perfect cut on 40 count for Maria. So I hope it's right. I'll have to do a lot of measuring and everything. So that was my tabby cat. Gorgeous haul. Then I went to Fox and Rabbit. Oh man, this was amazing haul. Flannel flowers, which I've got upstairs, but this is just a fat quarter. And if you see it, you've got to get it, haven't you? It's like a pale grey mottle. It's yellowy, it's not yellow, it's pale grey, but with quite a bit of marbling. Then I got Duxbury, because my Duxbury is crazy. This one isn't so crazy. This was quite a gentle biscuit mottling, because I don't know why they're just different this time. So I did pick that up. And I also got baked clay because I'm doing a stitch on that and had used my stash up, so I wanted to replace it. Baked clay is a beautiful pinky brown. So there's the three of those for you to see together. Flannel flowers, Duxbury, baked clay. Hope you can see those three. That's the best way to show them, isn't it? Like that. So let me just quickly show you the tabby cat like that. Random, wood smoke, but limited edition, whatever that means. Shaker greys in different counts, lichen. Okay, then this was on my shopping list. Maple bar, Cedar River maple bar. It's a beautiful brown, tan. It's warm. It's going to be perfect for the With Thy Needle and Thread Quaker snippet that it called for. I'm so glad I got it, because it's completely different. It's probably closer, if I put it on the bottom, it's probably closest to the baked clay and Duxbury. It's in the middle, I would say, of those two. Duxbury, baked clay, maple bar. Very similar sort of pinky beige colour wheels. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, what else? Oh man, I forgot to show you a few more. Okay, the other two Fox and Rabbit. 40 count saltbush, which is a greeny tinge this time. And 40 count, I'd never had it, had to have it, Cactus Wren. A beautiful dark brown, grey brown. So let me grab my Fox and Rabbit. So you can see how green the saltbush is there and how brown the Cactus Wren is there. I hope this is helpful, guys. I mean, it's what I find really helpful on Flosstube, because it is hard to put linen side by side. So you can see the green now, can't you, on that saltbush, which is unusual because mine is normally a grey. So that was that. Oh, the other Cedar River, I'm sorry, I thought I I was supposed to get 3, but one of them wasn't there. This was the Spindrift. Something else calls for Spindrift. When I kit it up, obviously you'll see it. Spindrift is a much paler than Maple Bar. It's a creamy grey. It's a beautiful pinky grey, like apricot maybe. Gorgeous colour. So that was that. And then the last 4, needle and flax. Okay, so let's go in with the one that we all know, Thornfield. I got a fat half of 40 count. It's the one 15 Friends is on that I love. Then we've got a fat quarter of the 46, which is the one that I've run out of. Oh no, 15 Friends is on 46, yeah? So I've got a little bit more of that. Then I got that's those 2. So then I got Fragile 46, because I've got a fat quarter of 40 and it's like a delicate grey. I think that's what you would say. The light's not good now. I've lost the light. That's that. And then finally, a 46 count fat half of Steinbeck. Again, I've got Steinbeck, but only a fat quarter, so you can't do any big samplers on it. And it's so, this is what GH 1857 by Rebecca Brigham, she's doing it on that Steinbeck, and it was just a wonderful colour to pick for it. It's a little bit darker than my Doc Sanditon by Swan Bay Fabrics. So those are the 4 from Needle and Flax. Steinbeck, Fragile, Thornfield, different counts. So guys, I'm not allowed to leave the house for a year. I'm not allowed to buy another thing ever again. But what absolute treasures. I won't be buying any clothes other than my Mother of the Bride dress, which I'm going into town tomorrow for my Mother of the Bride dress shopping with my sister-in-law Louise. We're going to go to John Lewis and see what that shopper is going to come up with. So at the haul, what did I get? Very little. A couple of charts from Market. I'll just quickly share with you. I did get the other nativity. No, I only got one nativity frill because I couldn't get the shepherds. I could only get the wise men because I got the nativity Tiny Town. I was missing the 4th in the series, and you know I love a series. So I got that. Liberty by With Thy Needle and Thread. It's on Tobias Linen, which is annoying because I don't have that, but I'll have to find a match. I got the new Plum Street Happy Birthday America because I had to. And Miss Pilkington's Cottage. Just love the colours. I did get the Scarlet House homegrown tomatoes. I just thought that was fun. And I got Margaret Mossop 1843. I love that. Love the berry bowls. I did get Fox and Rabbit Charlotte Mills. Wanted this chart for years and it was finally back in stock at 123 Stitch. Look at that border. Look at the church. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love this chart. I've always loved it. And it's stitched on Ale by Picture This Plus. I haven't got Ale, but I've got... Ale is gorgeous. I might have to get Ale. Beautiful, beautiful chart. I did pick this up. It's been in my basket for years at 123 Stitch. So I thought, I'll just get it. By the Drawn Thread, Little Lamb Sleeping, because you never know, new babies and that. A Little Wedding Quaker. That's by Needle Treasures Nook. 123 Stitch, Pineberry Lane. I threw these in because they've been on my wish list for years. That's quite cute, isn't it? Merry Little Stitches, maybe for Christmas. It's just fun. I've wanted this for years. La-di-da. It's just useful if you ever need to have some initials. It's just loved letters and lovely letters, and you can, you know, if you ever need a gift or something, you can always just get the monograms from here. And then the third in the series, which I've got two of them, I think. A Time to Reap in the Every Season series by Teresa Kogut, because I think they're really cute. I love them, and I've got the board, and I love a finish like that on a board. So that was my haul. So I'm absolutely not allowed to buy any more. I'm on a no spend now till Christmas. And I did get an amazing package from the Fat Quarter shop. So let me first do the giveaway winners. Last time, Fat Quarter shop, thank you so much, Kimberly and team, for sending me a package every month of your gorgeous things. It's my favourite shop in the whole world, Fat Quarter shop. And they sent me this. The winner of this, number 1, Hometown Neighbourhood Quilt Star House by Laurie Holt, by It's So Emma. The winner of this is Vintage Cottage Stitches. So please send me an email at periwinklestitcher@gmail.com, all one word, periwinklestitcher, and I will post it out to you. The next winner of these two Cosmos and Aster's seed packets is Ma B 3942. Ma B, aren't they pretty? 3942. And the winner of this gorgeous Kim Deal Bushels and Pecks quilt pattern is Martha Ward 914. Martha Ward 914. If you've stuck with me this long, Martha, honestly, thank you so much. This quilt, I think it's quite a complicated one, but it uses the Penberry Farm collection by Kim Deal for Henry Glass Fabrics. Her quilts are gorgeous. Kim Deal fabric is stunning. So those are the giveaways. This month, I received a beautiful package from Fat Quarter Shop. This incredible book they sent me. 12 quilts. Each of them uses 12 fat quarters. Every fat quarter bundle that they used in this book is different. And they're just beautiful. Just quickly, some of my favourites. This one is absolutely beautiful. The Sunbeam quilt. This uses fabric. This is the Kim Deal Pennyberry. This is her fabric, the Kim Deal fabric I just showed you the quilt pattern for. Isn't that a beautiful colourway? I love that quilt as well. That's called the Sunbeam quilt. Another one that I thought was really lovely. Well, there's a couple actually, but I haven't got time to do the whole book, but I could. Oh, this one I loved. This is, they're all designed by It's So Emma for Fat Quarter Shop. The Halo quilt. I'll show you this, the colourway. So this one, the Halo quilt, is stitched in the Laundry Basket Sewing Bird by Laundry Basket Quilts. Isn't that fab? And it just needs 12 fat quarters. I'm really tempted to stitch that one. And then the other one, which I know at least 2 people have said on their review of it, that it's their favourite quilt, is this one. The Blue Bonnets quilt. And it uses Sunbonnet by My So Quilty Life. It's such a pretty quilt, and that's the one I think Kimberly Jolly is, it's either her favourite or she's stitching it. She can't be stitching it again because obviously it's been done by It's So Emma for this quilt book. So that must have been her favourite pick when she reviewed it. I just love her programmes on a Friday, And I tried to join them live, and that's how basically I learnt so much of my quilting tips by watching Kimberly on her live streams. So I'm going to be keeping that one, but if you want to buy that book, it's available at Fat Quarter Shop right now. I also thought I would keep this gorgeous quilt and table runner pattern. This is the Threaded Star Quilt and Table Runner by Cassidy Grace, and this is Laurie Holt's daughter. So this is stitched in the fabric line called Threads of Grace that she's newly designed. Cassidy Grace for Riley Blake. I'm going to keep this. I might pass it on after it if I make it, but and then I had two that had in the package from Fat Quarter Shop. Thank you so much, Kimberly and team. And I was going to share this. So this will be number 3. This is a quilt pattern, again, by Cassidy Grace. Rows of Bows, used in her new collection. Beautiful, by It's So Emma. And then Completely Catty Cross Stitch, which is one of the Kim Deal Pennyberry Farm series that she's done for the Mads for Plaid bags that you can find in Fat Quarter Shop. And so Kim Deal has been doing a series of these cross stitches to go on the bags. So this will be number 4. Okay, so that's 3 and 4. And earlier on, I did 1 and 2 with the Historical Sampler Company and their cotton and twine box. So I think I've done everything except I haven't done my table gifts. Let me quickly do that. Okay, we did get some table gifts. I'm so sorry, I nearly forgot. This is the thing, I've got trays of stuff all over the places, which is why I had to do a floss tube. So we did have table gifts at our retreat this weekend. I had a few. So here's one. This is, and some of these are amazing, guys. Please watch and stay. Look at this. So this gorgeous fob, this is from Little 13 Witch. This is Aniko, and I wrote this down, Aniko Shumek, and she had the most amazing show and tell on the Saturday night. Yeah, Little 13 Witch on Instagram. Aniko had Louisa Coulamore and Tom's Foolery and others that she shared on the Saturday night. She was so fun. She's a young, enthusiastic, amazing stitcher. Please follow her on Instagram. Another little gift I had, this was so lovely. This was from Michelle Sunsmo. She's Sunsmo Me on Instagram, and she bought these beautiful gifts. Can you see that? It's got a little bird on a scissor fob and a cute, from this company called Siggy's Closet, that she stitched to remember her mother. A little needle minder. I want to put these back so I don't forget who gave them to me. Then on my table, I had a lovely lady that had never been to a retreat before, Cindy Bannon from Indianapolis. How I remember that. Honestly, I'm impressed with myself. I wore this badge she made for us all day because look how she embroidered that. And Laura had one on, the cereal starter, that just looked amazing on her grey polo neck jumper. Her jumper looked better with the badge than without. It was so kind of her. There she is. Cindy Bannon shared that with us. And lots more. She shared the little strawberry. She shared the little tomato, which will go in our trays. And an old reel, a vintage reel of cotton. So kind. And she specially made this for me from an old Singer bobbin. Isn't that precious? Honestly, some people are just not only talented, but just thoughtful and kind. And she watches my floss tube, and she just didn't know anyone and was sat next to me. It was amazing. We had a wonderful table. I had Audrey on my table as well, and Britta, of course, and lots of lovely ladies. I also had this beautiful gift. This is from Phoebe Store, and she's got a little story. Let me just show you. She said on Etsy Phoebe Store, look at this little penny she makes. I've made a unique charm featuring glass beads, a feather and a genuine old British penny. They were struck in bronze, and she's got, if you scan the QR code, you would get a free chart off her website, and she gave us this amazing, so please go and have a look for her on Etsy. This is her little shop, Phoebe's Store. Fabulous, how kind. And I love the little story. It's a lovely little gift, isn't it? So that was that. I'll come to those later. Then I had a cute little bag from Melissa, My Sweeties 3 Stitching. She did give us sweeties, and she gave us a lovely Merchant and Mills threader and glasses cleaners for our glasses. How thoughtful and practical and kind. Then a lovely lady on my table, Bridget Peacock from Canada, gave us this beautiful handmade pincushion. Look at that tomato. She also, because she was from Canada, she gave us a pencil and a Go Canada. So to all our Canadian friends, she was representing you on the table. Just incredible, honestly, overwhelming. Then, I couldn't believe it. This lady, Georgia O'Brien, the most well put together lady in the retreat. She was so glamorous. She was on our table. She made these in these beautiful jewelry pockets. She made a little Big Ben and a scissor fob saying Swindon 2025. But even more than that, she made this, which I was so taken with. I put it on this morning and haven't taken it off. She took a picture of one of her designs and put it in a little cabochon here and put it on a necklace. What a great idea for a table gift. I just love it. It's got a little swan on it, and you know I got swans over the road on the lake. So thank you, Georgia, for being so lovely and sweet company for the week. And we couldn't pick where we were sitting because as all the British girls were going to stay together, but we just couldn't. There was a mad scramble for the table, and some of them were reserved for the teachers and speakers. And so you just had to sit where you could. So Britta and I were really lucky to sit together. But it was so nice that by the end of it, you were talking to everyone, all 108 ladies. I had a lovely little gift bag with sweeties off somebody on my table. Like, this is the only one, I don't know the name, with a notebook and a postcard by McCulloch and Wallace, and Madeira threads, and a beautiful little handmade needle book with a scissor, a needle minder, a butterfly needle minder. So kind. And DMC threads and a little scissors. Really practical and lovely. I had Mary W. Quilts gave me these lovely scissor fobs of her grandmother. Floss cards. Audrey, Stitch Beads, who's on YouTube and you must follow, gave us these. This is a photograph of floss cards of her own finish, Mary Jo Heine ribbon work. Gorgeous. I had this beautiful needle book from Carrie, and I've got to say a big hello to her mum, Sandy, in Texas. Carrie stayed with Britta and was on the table right behind Britta, and she made these gorgeous needle books. Look, with the Hands Across the Sea, beautiful fabric that you can buy from Nicola's shop. And Carrie, this is her quilting card. So if you ever need anything long arming, you can contact Carrie there. Such a lovely lady. And we spent a lot of time together because she travelled with Britta and everything. So it was lovely. I had Lake Girl Stitches. Steph made this. She's an incredible quilter. She made this on her embroidery machine so I can iron it on the back of my denim jacket. How cool is that? She also gave me some ponies because we can't get them in the UK. How kind. I had this incredible China mug made in Kosovo from the fabulous Jules Darling. If you're not following Jules Darling on Flosstube, you should. She's sweet, she's young, she's enthusiastic, and she gave me this lovely mug. Isn't it lovely? Handmade in Kosovo. So that's so sweet. I had a beautiful gift. This was the last one in the shop, and the lady in front of me had it, and she knew I was looking for that. And bless her, she checked out and came back to me and gave it to me. And her name was Sylvia, because she gave me a card to say thank you for doing Flosstubes, because they brought her joy. And she made me this cute little present. I couldn't believe it. This is how it came, look, with the gorgeous, it was all beautifully wrapped in the seam binding ribbons in blackbird fabric, which I will put in my finishing stash, and this cute decoration. Totally mad. Love it. Thank you, Sylvia. And then she gave me that as well. I mean, honestly, the generosity was mad. Britta made these cute little table gifts for everybody. Mini pin cushions out of thimbles with vintage buttons. She's so talented, Britta. And a little real acorn stuffed with a felt little acorn. So that'll go in my dish. Now, Dottie, Stitching Scotty on YouTube, who you all know. I had breakfast with her yesterday. She's so sweet and kind and has always supported my Flosstube. And she gave me this little needle minder of her little dogs. Bless her. And then I met a lady who gave us everybody Curry cross stitch. She gave everybody this free cross stitch chart. She's got a Etsy shop. Yes, there she is. Cheryl Cuthbert of Curry Cross Stitch. I guess it's Scottish because of the thistle. She was such a lovely lady, and she's giving the proceeds from her charts. We had a free friendship chart, but she's going to give the proceeds of her things on Etsy to Alzheimer's research, because I think she said it was her mum that was struggling with Alzheimer's. And so please go and have a look. She's got charts on her little Etsy shop. And she's obviously given this chart away for free to everyone at the event, which was so kind. So it would be lovely if everyone could just go and have a look at her little shop. We all had that on our table, and I met her. Then Alison Lally B, who is a friend of mine that I met down at Cowslip, was so kind to lend me two of the word plates that we just cannot get in the UK. So I'm going to stitch those and send them back to her, because that's a precious collection she's got. How kind. An incredible stitchy kindness that I had from Kathy Purdon from Tasmania, that you will all know because she's very famous on Instagram. I think she's Kathy Taz on Instagram. And she made this amazing project bag using one of Nikki's panels, Nickel Apartments panels. And let me pick one out of the bag, me and Britta. I've got a lovely picture at the end of her holding her incredible Hands Across the Sea black work finish, out of this world. And then Judith, who's a friend of Narissa's Stitching Lifestyle, also makes amazing project bags. You'll recognise this because she gives them to loads of people. And they've got the Tui. Where's the Tui? The Tui's the bluebird here. It's the New Zealand bird. And another, is it a peep or something? The other little brown bird. But look at that gorgeous project bag that she gifted to me. And we had a lovely photograph, me and Judith, at the end. It was lovely to meet her. I think she's stitching cats on Instagram. Then I met a lady who gave me some Boston baked beans and is going to send me her floss conversion for Jane Greenoff's needle roll, because she did it in blues and reds instead of peaches and creams, and it was stunning. And Instagram handle is MVX Stitcher. So please go and follow her. She's got beautiful work, and she was so much fun in Jane's class. We were at the back and quite naughty. And then I met another lady who was kind to send me a couple of charts that she said I can stitch myself. Now, she is Mini Gnome. Do you remember the lady that pinked up her denim jacket with a cutter, one of her Plum Streets things? She had the cutter thing. So Leslie Magni. So she said she'd give me these to either stitch up myself or to use as giveaways. So I'll definitely look at these. This is an old one, Harriet's Heartland. I can't see me stitching that one, it looks way too hard. 1782. Look at those trees. Oh man, that looks good. So maybe that'll be a giveaway at some point. It probably will. So yeah, the lady that did those was Kristen Mullin from Massachusetts. I should have said that, sorry. And Leslie, Mini Gnome, gave me this beautiful little finishing kit of vintage buttons in a jar. Look at that little wax strawberry. I mean, just so kind. And then, of course, I've saved something very special to last. I didn't open this till I got home. Guess who made me that? Out of Laurie's amazing cottons. Chunky cotton thread. Brenda. Brenda, the sampler stitcher. She's so sweet and kind, and I can't believe that Brenda's made me something. I will treasure it forever, Brenda, and probably will never use it. I would just look at it. And she also, I couldn't believe it, she gave me 2 pieces of Tabby Cat creme brulee. When I walked through the door at Swindon, she said to me, don't buy creme brulee, because she knew it was on my shopping list. She gave me a piece out of her stash. I can't get over it. She gave me 2 pieces. I gave 1 piece to Britta straight away because we do share and we do play nicely. And I can't get over it. It was obviously, this is 46 count. She's given me a fat half of creme brulee. I mean, some things, what can you say? Barry giving me a Lakeside and Brenda giving me some of her creme brulee. I just, very, very precious things. And the last 2 things I'm going to share, I nearly forgot. I had Christmas decorations from Sally, Humble Bumble Stitcher, who organised the meal for us on Friday night in Mario's in the Old Town. And Jill, Pink Moon Gazing Hair, who's so sweet, always gives us finishing materials to finish our smalls. And they came for the meal and sat on our table with Brenda and Laura, and we had an absolute riot and a lovely, lovely evening. So there we are. I hope I've done a Tale of 2 Trips justice. I'm sorry, I haven't even looked at the time because I know it's gone on way too long, and I've got a load of photographs at the end, particularly at the National Quilt Museum in Paducah. If you get a chance to watch them, please do. I'm heading off for a holiday on Sunday. I won't get much stitching done. So I promise the next time I come back, I'll try to be short, sweet, 4 things to share and no haul, and just much calmer, slower, and in a happy place. But I've had the most amazing month. I didn't want to leave anybody out. I'm sorry if you don't like names being named, but it's only fair to the people that have made all these things that I, say thank you and for every little thing, because it means so much to me. I'm grateful for you all being there, and I thank you all so much for your time. And until next time, happy stitching.